Possibly, yeah, he says this is correct mods. I wanted to look at was if I needed to mod any Sith specifically for the feats.
Oh right, it is Siths, isn't it? I'm interested to see how it's gonna work out with the new Seep characters. They're probably gonna do jack shit for me this time around in GAC, but
You should
Darket's coming.
have you should have the upper hand here though. Oh yeah,
Oh
Darkest right.
yeah, he's coming. All right, we're live. Darket is showing up. Look at him. Look at him in there. Okay, let's make this a little bigger. We're having technological issues, as you guys can see, but we're here.
And that's what's important.
That's right.
Ooh, I got a big name.
Yeah, you got a big. Darket made you a big one, a big daddy name. I don't know why.
I feel special. I like the color combo on it too.
Yeah, he whipped that up on his phone real quick. His computer's having some issues. It runs Oregon Trail pretty smoothly for the most part, but today it's having trouble with Zoom, so it's all right.
Hear me?
Oh, I hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
All
but
right,
it
we got
sounds,
the full Darket.
it sounds like desktop audio though.
Oh, okay.
No visual from you either yet.
Hold on.
That's not the worst thing. I did that for a long time.
Oh yeah, you did. I kind of like that. It was like, is he in a bunker somewhere? Where's he recording? I don't know what's going on.
I was not a huge fan, but yeah.
I'm glad you did, man. It's cool that you're doing a lot of different things now, and people can see you, put a face to the name and everything, and the voice.
Are you guys streaming yet?
We are. We're
yes,
live.
we are live.
Okay. Oh, great. Awesome.
Hey.
Everybody
I'm
can see
gonna
you.
try to fix my audio on the fly here too.
Okay.
So keep just roll with it, and I'll catch up.
Yeah, sounds good. We can hear you. I'm gonna start recording locally here. All right. Well, we have 0 viewers, so there's no one to disappoint yet.
Oh, that's fine.
No.
Cool.
Only the people on the VOD. That's all we got right now.
All right. So, yeah, this is episode 64 of the podcast, and we are here. We're joined by our good buddy, Calvin Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love being on here. It was a great time last time, and I'll be honest, my motivations this time are also a little selfish because I know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I know you're a big prequel guy, so we're talking Revenge of the Sith later. So.
It's the most important prequel.
It is, dude. Just not to jump into it right away, but I really enjoyed watching it again. Now having the context of the Clone Wars going into it, it was like kind of like watching it for the first time again.
It's my favorite part of every month.
Yeah, you watch it pretty common, right? Or pretty often.
Yes, it is. It's a part of my routine.
Oh, we lost Darket again. Oh no.
Yep, it looks like it.
The
Also,
monitor.
hello everyone.
Oh, he went to adjust the monitor and he pulled the cord out. Oh shit.
That is a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got a nice little screenshot of him on here.
We do.
That's nice.
We do. It's not so bad. What's
Just
up,
to
Jarrell
remember.
and Biscuit? How you guys doing? Hey, what's up, Rogue? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Darket, he said that it's not meant to be. Maybe he'll join back. I hope he does, but we'll keep rolling with it. So no fancy music, but today on the Cantina, it's just me drinking today. I'm going Fatal style here with some Larceny whiskey. It's affordable. It's delicious. Pretty smooth. Not mad about it. Oh yeah, no problem, Rogue. Happy to help Pooh Face Jen out. So that's his sister's in-game name. It might be her real name. I have no evidence to say otherwise.
Who is to say? Who's
Right.
to say?
First name Pooh Head, middle name Jen, and I'm assuming they have a last name, but well, again, who knows?
It's best to keep things private. We're
Right.
live for a big audience here.
Full disclosure, she is quite the Pooh Head. Yeah, so I'm drinking whiskey. Darket is going to try and join us back when he can, and he's drinking the freshest, most delicious Brazilian water known to man.
With just a slight hint of dirt, just the way we like it.
Nice. You use a filter or anything like that, or straight from the tap?
Nope, you got to use a filter. It's for the better.
Okay, all right. We use now we're talking filtration systems. We use a what the fuck is it? Reverse osmosis thing? I don't know.
You got me. You
Some kind of
definitely got me
filtrate.
with
My
that one.
wife's really into like organic, natural things, and she's like, the fluoride's killing us, blah blah blah. So we have this expensive filter and whatever. Anyway, okay, so that's what we're drinking. Let's get into some boosts and boasts. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You want me to start? You want to start?
No, yeah, you can go for it. It's your show.
All
I'm just
right.
here for the ride.
All right, I'll knock that out. And Jor-El, I see you. What are your thoughts on Moff Gideon being added to a 10 energy cantina farm? Ooh, I don't know. I'm not farming Moff Gideon, so I'm indifferent to say the least. I'm just solely focused on Seep, so to me, it's like it doesn't exist yet. I'm just like, oh, that's a thing that I'm not messing with. What about you, Calvin? You have any strong thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have a definitive thought, but I will say there's a reason for it. Like that has got to be the most accessible a character has been since dating back to someone like Kira from the Solo movies. It's been a long time since we've got a 10 energy cantina node. Why? I'm not exactly sure. I think it could be a similar reason to why a lot of the other Mandalorian characters were so accessible, because they were trying to bring in new players. So you can't throw a character on a 20 energy fleet node if you want a new player to get it, because they're not going to get that for another year, and they're just going to look at that and hate themselves. So that I think that might be one of the reasons, or the other reason might be is he's not going to be needed for anything important, so they're just going to give him to the community kind of as a present. So we'll see which one. It could be another third reason too, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. Like, it's not normal.
Yeah. Well, in the Mando content too, they want that forefront. They want people chewing on that content. Oh,
Yep,
Darket's coming back, it looks like. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. All right, so boosts and boasts. And, feel free in chat to let us know any boosts and boasts you made in the last 2 weeks. So I have been working on Sith Eternal Emperor. I Gear 13 Royal Guard, Krennic, and Darth Maul, which are words, again, that I never thought I'd ever have to say. But, yeah, so they're all Gear 13. Now everybody's geared for the required characters. I just need to get relic levels on them. So I'm doing pretty good on relic material. I need to get 12 more Erodium heat sinks and 51 more Electrium conductors, and just like a handful of like a couple hundred of each signal data. And then I'll have everything I need to do the event. So getting there.
How are you doing with the event or without the event on the first couple pieces of relic material? I think it's like the carbonite transistors or something like that.
Those, I am loaded on those.
Okay.
What I did is I used Gum had a link of a spreadsheet that he uses, and it's like it shows you which relic materials you can scrap and which ones you should hold on to, so that they won't affect like other pieces that are needed for later tiers of the relic material. So I've been good on that stuff. And one thing that I didn't realize is if you craft them first, if you craft those pieces, if they are craftable, you get more bang for your buck if you have like a stack of 20 or 50 of said material.
Yeah, that's the heat sinks. Yeah, like they need the drains, but if you try to give the individual drains, you just lose so much weight, I guess.
Yeah, so I took advantage of that, and I still have a ton of materials, but I'm like swimming in that stuff right now. Knock on wood. So,
Sorry to interrupt your.
Oh, no,
there.
you're good. You're good. I'm excited. I'm getting close, man. I'm looking forward to it. I gear 12'd Watt, so looking forward to getting him reliced. But of course, all of the relic material he needs, to get to, or I guess, there's Darkit. There he is.
He's coming
see
in
his
and out
face.
right now.
I can hear you. We
I
can
switched
hear
to
you.
my Chromebook.
All right.
Okay.
This is functional.
I got my Bluetooth headphones in, so I think this will work.
Okay. Sweet.
Sound great.
It's a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so
Sorry.
all of the stuff that he needs to get to Gear 13 is used for relic materials, the majority of it, that I need to get my characters up to the appropriate relic levels. So he's going to stay at Gear 12 for a while, unfortunately. Would like to relic him, but and then
Coming from a guy who still has a Gear 11 watt, I think you can get away with it for a little bit longer.
that makes me feel a lot better. I was thinking
He's a good character, but maybe not first priority.
Yeah, I was thinking for Crankor. I thought that would be. I've heard that he's helpful having him
He's
at
very
Relic
helpful
5.
in the Crankor.
Yeah, so that was the thought, but I mean, you got to have in this game, you got to pick priorities. But and real quick, so Rogue got JML and his alt this week. Nice, and now almost
That's
done
impressive.
with gas requirements. Very nice, getting there. I like it.
Nice.
Well, you got there. You got JML for fuck's sake. Biscuit, 3 gear pieces away from finishing my clones. Nice.
Also very, very good. Clones are such a fun team, especially under Shock. That was just a fun team to play with.
Heck yeah. It's fun stuff, man. And I guess that's about it. I guess that's the life of grinding a GL is, GL things. Who wants to go next?
Not me yet.
Okay.
Okay, I'll buy you some time here.
Go.
Yeah. Okay. So my booster they're gonna start to be really random because I went through the whole GL thing twice, and to be honest with you guys, I'm really burnt out on it at this point. I needed to gear some other stuff just to keep my sanity, just because like Brick was saying, gearing things like Krennic and Maul, it doesn't make you feel good.
No. You need a shower after. Something's not. It just doesn't feel right.
So that being said, I gear 13 to Magna Guard.
Is that a GL? Why'd you do that?
No, it's not. It's not GL requirement at all. It is okay. Saying it out loud, it seems super anticlimactic. But no, I went ahead and did him because for the GG team, I have GG and B1 Ordia Relic, and I'm sure I'll spark a lot of debate even in the comments here, but I deem him the 3rd most valuable relic. And that team is still so useful all across the game. Like I struggle in dark side territory battles just because I gave up on it in pursuit of light side territory battles. There's also the Forest Moon assault battle, I think.
Yeah.
And I can beat it with Gear 12, but I have to move mods, and I hate myself. And I actually stopped doing it because I had to move mods. So maybe I'll start doing that again.
Which tier can you make it through?
I can get through tier 2.
Okay.
Tier 1 is easy enough. I actually can do tier 1 with Vader, I think, which is just a much less of a time constraint. But tier 2, I need to use the Thrawn droid battalion team.
Oh yeah.
And I could get it to work. I just hated myself doing it. So maybe
Maybe
not having to remod Magna will make me happy. So Magna got geared. What else did I do?
Did you put the Zeta? Did you put the Zeta?
No, I did not. No, I did not. That
What are
Zeta
you waiting
makes me
for?
cringe.
You
That
got
Zeta makes me cringe.
I
It's
heard
so
you
bad.
have like
It's very bad.
a lot of Zetas left over just hanging out. So definitely, I think you should put it on there.
I'm trying to think if there's a handful that'll tempt me every now and then, like Bast the Sean lead.
Yeah.
Like that will come back and be like, you could use this with Jedi Master Luke.
Yeah.
You could use this in 3v3, and I'll suppress those. Magna Guard is not one of those Zetas.
What if Brick beats you in GAC? You guys face off and he beats you.
That's not.
Wait,
That's
wait,
not
wait.
good.
Brick, do you have the Magna Guard Zeta?
No,
Is
I
that how you're
don't.
being me?
Well, that's a good point. How that's
It will
see,
be. It will
see
be how
that's
he
like
beats you.
Inception or some shit. Like I can't The only way I could beat Calvin Awesome is if I have the Magna Guard Zeta. So
Okay.
if
so
I don't
make a
have
Magna
it,
Guard Zeta.
it's just sorry, Darkit. This is falling apart here.
I'm actually we should sorry, this is really off topic, but we should put all of the people from our division in the GAC center and see how close our matchmaking GP would be.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Because-
Because we're in the same division for GA Center, which we'll talk about once we get into our GAC section. But yeah, that would be interesting to see. I think there's some wide gaps, honestly, because some of us have GLs, some of us don't. Some people have Jedi Knight Luke, some don't. But I don't know. It's interesting to see where people have put their resources, you know?
No, yeah, I think you're totally right. I think we have people approaching a third GL, and we have people with no GLs, like they're not even farming for them like you are. But
Yeah.
anyways, so Magna Guard's Gear 13. Who else is important that I did? I've been just. This has been really irresponsible of me. I shouldn't have been doing this, and I'm paying the price for it now. But I'm just randomly throwing gear at like all the Mandalorian characters, like. I'll give a droid car to Quill. I'll give a carb to IG-11. I'll give a stun gun or something to Moff Gideon. So now I'm just stuck with all these like Gear 9 characters. I'm like, okay, now I can't do anything with anyone.
Yeah. Isn't that those are like the annoying tier of gearing? Like my bounty hunters were all that way for a long time. It's like Django and I don't know. They're cool characters, but you get this bottleneck of, you know, they need stun guns, they need carbantes. It's just like, fuck.
If you're smart about it, it's not that bad, and you focus on one character. But I like I said, I think it was burnout from GLs, and I was just like, oh, screw it. I'll just give whoever, whatever, wherever the green crosses, it's getting thrown on. Mm-hmm. So now I'm paying the price for that. I won't be able to have a Moff Gideon ready for this next week of 5v5. Hopefully I will next week, but we'll see. I got armored to Gear 11, literally only because of the video Clash made.
Oh yeah, yeah, and Clash had to call it quits, man. That's a bummer.
Yep, he bowed out, but it was what's the word? Righteous, honorable, whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, he's got a lot going on in his personal life, and you know you gotta make decisions, man. You can't.
Yep. He's prioritizing what is most important. So he'll be missed, but there's no shame in that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I did armor specifically for that. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do it because my armor is super slow. Like I'd have to find a really slow SLKR to do that. And lastly, I got all of my Imperial troopers up to like the highest point that they could be, and I'm really excited to use them for 5v5 this next GAC. And since I literally just locked myself into GAC like an idiot, I hope their mods are all correct.
Nice. What gear levels approximately? Do you know offhand?
They're all over the place because I have Pierre and what's his face Range. I don't have them 7 stars yet, so
okay.
I say they're completed gear, but they're sitting at Gear 11 because that's how I can take them.
Yeah,
Stark,
I mean, that's serviceable.
Stark, I took him to Gear 13. Just because I needed someone to be really fast. I think those are around Gear 12 or something like that. But I'm curious as to what they can beat with Pierre because I test them out in the GCs, and like this current GC with Bounty Hunters, they beat Tier 7.
Oh yeah, they fuck shit up, man. They for sure. You got the right relic there for sure on Stark. And
Like
Pierre, yeah, he just supercharges them. Sorry. Oh no, you could.
No, yeah, that's my thought. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a big, poopy or something. This GAC, but I'm curious because from what I've experimented with them in PVE, they wreck face like with Pierre. Like they start and they don't stop.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be the time to test the ceiling for them. Like I have them all relicked. Well, not all, but I have 3 of them relicked.
Ones.
Yeah, I have 3 of them relicked. You know, the other 2 turds are, I don't know, Gear 11, Gear 8, maybe, I don't know. But I'm curious to see what their ceiling is because, like, I mean, everything I've thrown them at, they wreck face. So we'll see. It'll be fun. Probably just a good B team killer, you know, with the right amount of speeds, or you know.
Yeah, that's I think what I'm gonna end up using them for too. There'll be a Night Sister or a bounty hunter killer. I've got a guildmate who will consistently take them against DR, and he loves to talk about that. But
Oh, no.
I'm not taking my Gear 11 bounty Imperial troopers against DR. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Mon Mothma's not a bad idea, like a lower geared one, you know.
No, that's a really good suggestion. Really, I think you said it best. If you just don't speed them, you call that a day. Like they're not going to catch up to you. I guess you just avoid Biggs at all costs so he doesn't interrupt the turn meter train.
Yeah, and so many AoEs, like you just passively just waste the team. You know, it's fun. I used it a lot in 3v3, and then if you have Death Trooper in there too, you know, the death mark's nice because they're not coming back. You know, if you get a kill. So nice, man. We did some cool shit.
Yep, that's it for me though.
You could tell me you
Yeah.
brought Imperial Troopers up to Gear 7, and I thought they were cool because I'm a big Trooper guy. So
No, I've been really like I've wanted them ever since I think Range came out, and they were really popular for the longest time. But I just kept getting sidetracked by the meta. I could never go after them.
well, that's
And
you have common sense, so that's good.
but then Pierre came out, and I'm like, okay, these guys are really good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my payoff for getting 2 Galactic Legends. I got to go after them now.
Dude, you're in the assault battles. You should try your troopers out in the assault battles for the assault battles for Forest Moon.
The unfortunate caveat to that is with me still having
The
Pierre
stars.
under 7 stars, I can't use them. I'm
Shit.
sure. Exactly. I think they would actually do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if CG would let me use them, I think they would function perfectly. But right now, I can't use them. I think I'm just not going to be able
Oh,
to.
bummer. I loved it just for to not have to use that Thrawn B1.
It's such a headache.
It's so agonizing. It's like all this time. Okay, I got 200 stacks of battalion, and then TiVo just still
And
wrecks
then
face.
one shots you in the
Yeah.
face. Like, okay, well that was all for nothing.
Yep, there goes.
I want my 20 minutes back.
Exactly. It's a great.
So annoying.
I like the idea of the team, but it's like if I can just take troopers in and steamroll it in 3 minutes, that's way more enjoyable of an experience for me.
Fun fact, and if any of those who read the Thrawn books, Thrawn actually was known for loving to tinker around with prequel era droids. So
Is that some?
CG definitely didn't do that on purpose, but it's kind of cool.
Or did they? They
Or
didn't.
did they? Are they that intuitive?
Narrator, they didn't.
They've got no idea.
How about you, Darkit? Did you boost or boast
So
anything? Just play with your nuts for 2 weeks.
I did some boosting, not to my computer, obviously, because I wasn't shoot. The nuts did get plenty of work as well.
Okay, good.
Oh, there it is.
I've been working on my Crane Core team, so I
right.
have been boosting that Vader lead one. So I got Crew to Relic 5, Vader to Relic 7, Shock will be Relic 5, I think, by the weekend, and that's when we run the Crane Core. So I think that team will do a little bit. I don't have the mods right yet, but it'll be a little bit of a challenge for a little bit. I got Bastila Shan to Relic 3 for Lightside Geo. We haven't got rewards yet, but my Negotiator will be 7 stars by the end of the territory battle.
Nice.
Just kind of waiting on that before I lock into GAC. My new gear project is clones. They're pretty much all they are all Gear 12 except for Arc. Arc's a little bit behind. So hope to have that team ready to go for next month. I don't think I'll have
You're gonna destroy LSTB next round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I won't have them cam ready yet, but I hope that I can get most of them at least to Gear 13. So I did
Nice, man.
47 waves without having a fleet to use, which is, I would think, pretty decent.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's really good, especially if are your clones able to get something right now?
No, I haven't been using them.
That's really impressive,
I
man.
was hoping for 50, but today in my Galactic Republic battle, I got wiped out in wave 1, and I was
Double
like, what the
B2,
fuck?
double
This is-
Droideka.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's usually like a 3 out of 4 for sure, and then like a lot of times a 4 out of 4 just completely wiped. So I was pretty pissed about that one. But overall, not bad. I still struggle with phase 1. My Jedi, I don't know, the Jedi just don't work as well in phase 1 for me as they do the rest of the way. I have the JML lead team, which is fine, and then I have my Jedi Knight Luke team, which is almost guaranteed 4 out of 4. But for some reason, just like, I get a salvo issue, take out 1 or 2 of them in phase 1, in wave 1, and then I don't know, can't get much farther. So
That the bottom mission for P1 has been was the bane of my existence for the longest time. Like I threw Jedi Knight Luke on that one because, like you said, it's pretty much a guaranteed 4 out of 4.
yeah, even when I remod and I use the exact same team in phase 2, it's like easy. Like they barely take a turn. I don't know what the deal is. So
I don't know if it's but I know what you're saying. Like I think it might be bonuses or something because I remember that bottom when I tried Jedi Knight Revan lead, Old Ben, Gas, and 2 of the really good characters. I think Hoda and Grandmaster Yoda, like a really good team. Thinking like, oh, they're all relic. This will work. 1 out of 4.
yeah, that's what mine was. Like I lose 2 of them in the first in the salvo in wave 1, and then like I'm basically left with like Hoda and Jedi Knight Luke and just like hoping I can maybe get out of wave 2, and I didn't. So, but after that, it's fine. I don't know. I gotta figure something out. It's probably mods. So
I think it's the comp for that for specifically like the bottom P1 mission, but I don't know.
And then I've got a question for you guys once we get to the hard meat about GAC, my future in GAC. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that for later.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Was that it?
That's it. That's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we talked about our boosts and boasts, and I'm just stalling here so that I can find the hard meat music, if that's not obvious. Let's head on over to the hard meat. What do you guys say?
Woo.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Starving for some meat.
That's right. It's playing. It's working.
Ooh, we're already on topic.
So,
not really.
Well, yeah, almost.
Almost the best prequel.
That's right.
Before we get into the hard meat, can I tell you guys about some meat that I made this weekend? And it's not
Please
related to my ball thing from earlier.
There's nothing.
I mean, I would want to know. Never mind.
There's nothing more that I want to hear about than Darth Darkit talking about some meat, because this is the hard meat, and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of meat. I think you know, protein's important. I think you should shoot for your
is.
body weight in
I made
grams
some-
of protein per day. If you're out there,
I don't know about
I
that.
try. I don't make it. I
Heart
try.
attack waiting to happen right there. So I had some leftover pork loins, which is just a very cheap like piece of meat. Like,
I'm listening.
not something that I buy. But I'm watching my parents' house right now. They had some in the freezer, so I was like, I'm gonna make use of this because this is gonna probably go bad before they get back home. They're in Florida for the whole winter, so I brought it home, thawed it out, and I'm like, I'm gonna smoke this because I got a smoker.
Ooh.
So I bought some applewood chips for my smoker. I used a apple rub on the pork loin. Then I wrapped them in bacon, and then I rubbed them down again with brown sugar.
Oh shit.
Then I threw it in the smoker for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and then tossed on some apricot sauce to let that kind of like
Oh my
bake in
gosh,
a little bit
okay.
too.
So you're
It was-
getting ill with it.
It was real good, real good. Turned out nice. So
Wow. Very nice.
I don't know how you get wrong. You just keep throwing
just keep wrapping more meat. on it.
brown sugar, bacon,
Yeah.
and it turns out great.
It was very good.
Man,
That's
this
really good actually.
we need to have a brew day. We'll have to have a brew day when the weather's nicer, and just cook some and smoke some meat and shit. Just
Hell yeah,
you know,
definitely.
got to do it.
Do some ribs, some brisket, some pork.
Smoke
Yeah.
all kinds of shit. Who cares, man? We'll find a pigeon out on the side of the road. Throw it in there. Let's do
I
guy
don't-
shit. No, you don't?
That'll be a
Smoke.
fun visit to the hospital. So what did you guys eat? Well, you know, normal stuff.
There was
Rick found a
squirrel. We had
bird?
to Smoke it.
But like you can eat chicken, you can eat turkey. We're pretty sure pigeons not just in the same family.
If it's, the same, if it's, the, what is it, 175 degrees, that's well done. You're good to go, man. It's fine. You cook all the disease out of there. It's all good.
There's no government drones allowed in my smoker. Those
Oh,
aren't
okay.
real.
All right.
Not allowed.
Oh, Biscuit got 64 waves in TB. Look at you. Very
You're-
nice.
Good, great job, Biscuit. Great job. But I'm assuming this is Hoth TV, yeah?
That's Hoth. That's Hoth.
Unless
yes.
Biscuit just got really,
Biscuit's
really
killing
buff
it.
all of a second.
Biscuit's putting up fatal stats over here. Nice. I
Yeah.
like it. That's
Also,
awesome.
64 that's really, really good.
Hell yeah. Biscuit knows what's up. All right, so the hard meat, we're going to talk about some GAC because there's no news from the game.
Yeah, it's like dead silent.
They're over
Something's
news. Um,
Like we've done enough for the year. We're good.
right. I do, I guess we'll talk about it later. I have some Galactic Legend speculation, and I have
Okay.
and it's good speculation because I have no evidence to support it. It's just a brick hard thought, and it's probably wrong, but we'll get into it later. So yeah, GAC recap. I guess I'll start. I went 9-3 this season. It's first season in Division 1 and first season in GA Center. So, like I said earlier, Calvin and I are in the same same division. Wanted to have a good showing. So my two of my losses came courtesy of an opponent who had Galactic Legend Ray and put them on defense. They put them in the bottom front zone. And this was a theme because my Vader counter just failed both times that I had to face it. And one time I even watched the video. It was a Galactic Legend Ray with who was it? What's the fucking?
Scav and Haldo?
No, it was fucking
I watched one of those one time, and it was going
L3.
really well. L3,
yeah,
that's right.
L3 and Barris. And I rewatched it and because I lost, and I rewatched it because I'd streamed it, and I couldn't have done anything different. Like there was nothing I could have done to change the outcome. Like I couldn't peel the taunt off of L3, and just I don't know. It didn't go well. So that was disappointing. And then it failed again against the Hero Bros. And I didn't record that one, but I don't think I could have changed the outcome. I might have been able to get another saber throw in, but I can't remember. But that's the problem in 3v3 is if you don't have a Galactic Legend Ray counter and yours fails, you're fucked. You're not clearing, you're not whittling her down, I guess, is the problem.
And the brutal part about that one, specifically Ray, this is a little different for the other three, but specifically for Ray, like the off-meta counters we have for her are sitting at like 11% success rates. Like it's not like 5v5. Like these teams work under very specific circumstances, which may include lower gear levels, but it's brutal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to with 5v5 is that I do have at least a better chance of beating Galactic Legends, specifically Ray. Like Kylo's not really an issue for me, or hasn't been in the past, and I actually beat a few opponents in this round of GAC who had Kylo and Jedi Knight Luke, which I kind of consider a GL in ways.
And 3v3, he really, at least for me, he was. I think at our point in the game, Giant Luke, he's very, very important for 3v3.
Yeah, he's strong. He's nothing to fuck with. So it was I guess it was a good season. 9-3 is not bad, considering my last 3v3 season I went 7-5 because I got into the Chromium Death bracket inadvertently. Oof. And it was just it was awful. But yeah, I'm not mad about it. 9-3 is not great, but it's a good it was a good season overall. If you told me before the season you're gonna go 9-3, I'd say, wow, that's impressive compared to where I was last season. So right now I am sitting in 7th place in the GA Center Division Class A League that we're in, and I am trailing Ranby and the Nev, so you guys better watch your butts. Because there's a brick hard meat. Oh, gosh, that doesn't sound good.
For that ass.
Bricks going after the butts. Going after the Nev butts, even better.
Yep. So yeah, it's fun though. I look forward to. It gives me it's like another level of competition for GAC. I was already competitive about it, and it's my favorite game mode. But now it's like I'm playing. I feel like I'm playing for something more. You know, a completely made up ranking system that doesn't actually impact any rewards in the game. Or
The whole game is made up.
That's a good point.
It's all
real.
imaginary. None of this is actually real.
Right. You know, it is fun though. I do like GA Center, and I like the chat we have and stuff, and like it's a cool community. It's cool thing to be a part of. So I in all seriousness, I am very excited to be in it, and excited to see where, you know, in 6 months from now, where this season, quote unquote, ends.
Nice.
All right. Who's next?
I can go next. I feel like this season was definitely a big learning one for me. 3v3 is one that I hate, like with a passion. I can't stand 3v3. But I feel like I had learned quite a bit this season. It did not end how I wanted it to end. I was hoping to get Kyber, and in my last round of 3, I went 1 and 2. Kind of screwed up a little bit, and I missed Kyber by 36 points.
Oh, that's rough.
Yep.
Brutal,
There was
man.
a couple feats that I messed up early that I missed, and then when I went into my last one, I had a really busy day on this matchup. I had a doctor's appointment, all kinds of shit was going on that day, and I jumped in. I forgot to battle. I jumped in with like 30 minutes left, so I had to like speed through everything, and I didn't look at feats before, and I definitely could have hit it because there was one where it was like, you know, use Scavenger Ray and Poe or something stupid and easy, and I didn't know it was there. I forgot to do it, and that's the reason I missed it. So yep, missed Kyber, but getting that close in 3v3 I think is a big thing for me because I'm usually like really bad at it. But having Jamal this time around definitely helped. I didn't really know how to use him at the beginning because he wasn't getting holds on defense. Because I didn't want to put Luke with him on defense. I wanted to save Luke for potential Galactic Legend countering. But yeah, I figured out a few teams that get holds that didn't before.
Anything
and,
you'd like
yeah.
to share about those teams that were getting holds?
Ewoks.
Actually, it was Ewoks.
Your Ewoks did get old.
3 times.
What the
Not-
heck?
Without Chirpa, with
Tebow.
Paplu. Tebow.
Ah, okay.
No, it wasn't Tebow. It was Paplu. Wicket. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It got me 3 or 4 holds.
Oh my gosh,
wins
okay,
because
cool.
of it. So
Yeah, yours are Gear 12, so a little
They are Gear
not
12,
not
yeah.
your
Oh,
average.
yeah, they're a lot of people disregard the Ewoks and they don't bother to understand the mechanics, but if you're stupid, you can lose to them. I almost lost them with Night Sisters one time because my Night Sisters aren't that great, and I realized they had a lot of synergy against Night Sisters and almost got spanked.
Yeah.
Those
And the
Ewoks
thing,
slap.
I
I
always
can tell you that.
I always throw them in the back too, and then everybody's waiting till the end to attack them. Like, I'll just use whatever's left on them. And it's like you can't really just use whatever's left. Sometimes, you know, they're. I got mine set up to be pretty fast, so you got to be ready for them. So, yeah. And then
Cool.
we don't have to do this right now, but I don't know if I should keep myself at the top of Division 2 in GP, or if I should just upgrade a couple things and go to Division 1 for next season. That's my question for
Let's
you guys,
do it. That's a good topic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of back and forth. Like on the show, we've talked about how we need to. I think that like it's better for me to stay in Division 2, but like everybody who's in the guild right now is like, no, you're gonna screw yourself. You really should go Division 1 and be on the bottom of Division 1 rather than the top of Division 2. So I don't know.
I mean, if I had a personally, like now being in Division 1, and I guess Cal and I are both kind of in similar. It's our first
Yep,
5v5.
we're both very new.
Like, I don't know. The matchmaking for me, and maybe it's because I just don't have a Galactic Legend, in Division 1 has been pretty brutal. Like, I've been substantially out-rostered by nearly every opponent that I've had. I think 6 out of the 8 people in the pod that I, in the last round, had Galactic Legends and or Jedi Knight Luke. And they basically had my roster plus those characters. It wasn't like they were missing, like, key metas or anything. Like,
Right.
and just a substantial GP difference. So, in my experience, I feel like I would have benefited from staying in Division 2 because, you know, you're a big fish in a small pond, so to speak. But then again, you are going to getting matched up against other, I think they call them in World of Warcraft, twink accounts. I don't know if that's politically correct anymore. Probably not. There goes our, God damn it. We had a CG interview lined up again, and they just, something about me saying twink, they just, they backed out again.
Well, we're going to talk about Gina Carano later, so that'll...
Now's our time. But yeah, so like I don't know if I had to say if it were me, I would. And you have a Galactic Legend. A lot of people potentially. I mean, I don't know. I think you're going to see more Galactic Legends if you went into Division 1 personally. Maybe you wouldn't see as many in Division 2. So for that reason, I'd say stay in Division 2 if you can. But
I guess my issue would be if we lost Calvin.
Oh, he gone.
He froze there for a second, and I was like, is he just looking down very, very, you know?
I thought he was really really into a Discord message, and he didn't laugh at my joke. I'm like, I thought that was a good joke.
It's a good joke, Calvin. Come on, man. We've been having a lot of tech issues today. It's been a hard episode.
It's okay. It's all right.
So my inkling initially would be to stay in Division 2, and I mean, like the negotiator upgrade is going to bump me, I think, about 7,000, and then I got a couple other things that are sitting around that I could probably upgrade to get me there to Division 1, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Division 2 is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that it's. Calvin thinks his internet just crashed.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just chatting. When you can. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's what I think. I think Division 2. I don't know. I just don't think that you're going. I mean, you're gonna get matched up with people that potentially have 2 GLs. I don't know. There's just so much more GP to contest with in Division 1. You know, I get matched up against people who have 900,000 more GP than I do. Like,
I mean, I get that now.
Yeah.
I was getting that like before, but yeah, I think like the inventory that they have, they'll be able to do a lot more cleaning up. You know, where before it would be like not really seeing that. They've got just like probably 3 or 4 more teams they could use that I don't have right now. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing you could do too, the nice thing about it is you could just go, you know, just lock in at Division 2 for GA lock, and then you could just bloat, you know, the shit out of your roster at that point. Yeah. You could just like, you know, you could just blast up your GP like as much as you want at that point, and then you're really like, you know, a small fish in a big pond, or a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, I totally could do that. Like, I don't have a ton sitting around. I think it would be like a little bit of it would take me work to get up to Division 1. But yeah, I think Division 2 is probably the way to go. Definitely want to upgrade the negotiator no matter what. And that's not going to take me up to the 4.5, but yeah.
Calvin's back.
I am back.
All good, man.
Yeah, I don't know what my internet. I don't know if it was internet or Zoom or a combination of the two, but they were just like, stop.
Yeah.
So
the tech issue night.
Did you catch Darket's question about?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Calvin?
I have a rather strong opinion on this one. While my Zoom was deciding to crash on me, which I'm gonna close some other stuff here now. Actually, I went ahead and looked at your account and ran your ally code through a bot, and you have fairly high matchmaking GP. Like your top 80 is the same size as mine. So that being said, well, the big danger of going to Division 1 too early is that there's no ceiling for total GP. So you can get matched up with someone who has 6.5 million just because their top half is just as small as yours. They don't. Yeah. And Brick, have you gotten one of those accounts yet where they're just like 6.5?
No, I think the most I've had is like 1.4 or 1.5 million advantage. So close to 6. Like not 6.5 or anything like that. I think that's the biggest I've had.
So I would advise you. Okay,
Division
yeah,
2.
that I would stay in Division 2 for now because there's a ceiling in Division 2. Like even if you get another guy with a Galactic Legend, he's still going to at most have 4.5 million GP. You're not going to have to worry about, because one of the issues is with some of these older accounts that they have 1 GL and they're 6.5s is that their mods are they have a lot more depth because they've had more time to trade, just because they haven't gone after a bunch of Galactic Legends. So
yeah, that makes sense.
That's my opinion. But it's gonna have to happen at some point or another. But Brick, yeah. But I would avoid it while you can. And just because you're top heavy, if you have a smaller account,
that was my
Division 1 can actually be kind of nice.
Yeah. Cool. That's what I'm thinking too. So.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. I mean, you can only jam so many characters into a 4.49 million account. You know, it's like Division 1's like feel like it's the wild west, especially early in Division 1. You know, if like you start getting more closer to to 5 million, I think you're probably, I don't know. I think at least I will feel a little more secure. Like, okay, it's not that big of a difference, but every opponent you run Hotbot on, you're like, Jesus Christ, this person they got me beat in everything. But yeah. I do beat a lot of people in mods, which I think is a big reason why I have success. I've had success last season against them, but some people just have junk mods.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how about
Wild West is an accurate description because there's no boundaries anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you would remedy it. Do you have any thoughts on it, Calvin? Like, what CG could do to make it a little more comprehensive? Just add more divisions, or I don't know.
Yep. I'm not sure if you guys have looked into it before, but if you pay attention to the current divisions we have, there's already a metric set in place. For creating more divisions. Like every division, the gap between one and the other, when they go in ascending order, every single time they add one, they take the previous number and add 100,000 GP. So I think, for example, Division 2, it spans across, I think, 4.5 to 3.8. I think it spans across 700,000 GP. So what you would do for another division is you would just put 800,000 GP and you would cut it off at, I think, 5.3. And then you would make another one. Except for this time, you would go up to 900. I think 900. Yeah, 900,000, and that one would close off at 6.1. But those are, in my opinion, those are long overdue. I do not know why we haven't gotten those yet.
Yeah, and they keep adding new characters.
Everything's changed so much. There's people with like 8 million accounts. 9 even.
9 million accounts exist now. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can get matched up against somebody who has double your GP potential.
That's my. No, it's impossibly, but it's impossible. It's possible.
Yeah. How about your GAC, Calvin? Did you make Kyber? I know it's probably a struggle for you. You probably had to scrape a few wins in there. And...
Yeah, 3-3's a monster. Are you guys hearing me all right in my audio? You guys are coming a little cracky for me.
You're a little delayed on our end. I don't know. You sound fine,
clear.
but I just noticed a little bit of a lag.
Okay.
I was just saying that
Yeah, that's okay then.
I was just asking how your GAC went.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
No, yeah. This last season, it went really, really well, actually. I'm 3v3 is always such a wild card for me because I don't know what to expect. There are new team comps, there are new counters, and if someone wants to catch me off guard, it's the way to do it. Like 5v5, it's a little bit more predictable. The teams or the counters are going to come across, so I don't have to worry as much. I think I can prepare a lot more, at least for the second, third, and fourth week. But I had a strategy of being scared and going offense heavy every round. Some very few opponents decided to leave a heavy defense, and those resulted in lower banners, but a lot of them went heavy offense. And I just got to clean house on banners for the most part against people's defenses. Like, they would leave some good teams. Like, they would leave General Grievous or Crew or, I don't know, Jedi Luke. But when I take my strongest team of all, like SOKR is the head of my strongest teams, and the head of your strongest team is Jedi Luke, I'm going to get 54 banners. And then that just trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, I think, 6th place overall in Division 1.
That's awesome, man. First season too. That's crazy. I gotta know who, like.
I was happy with it, but like
Oh, sorry, we got a delay.
oh, sorry, go for it.
I was just saying that.
This delay is a little brutal.
Yeah, I was just saying that, like, it's crazy that, you know, to think that there's, like, you didn't fail a single attack, I think, and there was, you know, 5 other people that were somehow able to do better than you. It's just crazy to me.
No, I failed 2 in total, but if you added 40 banners for those 2 fails, my position wouldn't have changed. So that's essentially true.
That's crazy. There's those bus 47s out there, man. You got to watch your butt.
Like you were saying about G Center. Yeah, there are. But like being a part of G Center, that was really cool. That's our first season in there together. It's going well. We were talking about it before. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition that we have for us, but it's fun. I really like the environment for that type of things, like seeing everyone do stuff. We had some good strategy talk the other day between some of the members. I'm really happy to be a part of it. And I really love Escape Podcast for putting it on for everyone.
Yeah, for sure, man. And speaking of people that are in our division, Telomad, you guys have a new show. Do you want to tell people about it? I watched it last night. It was awesome, man. I'm glad you're doing it.
Oh yeah. Telomad, it's another content creator. He's in our division as well. Really cool guy. He really has a passion for Star Wars in general that goes way beyond Galaxy of Heroes. And we're getting together once a month. And the excuse is to talk about GAC, like how our season went, what we're expecting for the next one, give some advice. But really, the real reason is so that we can talk about dark side Wookiees and all the other cool stuff that exists in comic books that people haven't read for 20 years.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I
was very pleased with that show the other night.
The lore talk and such. I mean, and you guys are both high-end GAC players, so it's a cool formula. And you do it on your does Tilo have Twitch? Does he stream on Twitch, or is he more YouTube? And
he's entirely YouTube. He's
Okay.
entirely YouTube. He's just with where he's at right now, like that's the preferred medium for it, and he does well. Like we work off each other's strengths and weaknesses, but he's on YouTube right now. So what we do is we do the stream on Twitch together, and then I actually need to do this later tonight. I sent him the video, and he's gonna do with what he can and throw it up on YouTube for it to be there permanently. So we double dip in that respect.
Very cool, man. Cool. Glad you're collaborating. That's awesome. The more we can get people who are super good at the game and like good at explaining things and theory crafting as well. Like it's awesome, man. So that's cool. I'll tune in. Hopefully our listeners do as well.
That'd be cool. I was telling Brick before, but I'll tell you now, Darth Target 2. You guys, we wanted to model a little bit your guys' uniqueness of the show. I really love that you guys have a solid identity. Galaxy of Heroes, Beer, Star Wars, and we wanted to model that, but in our own way.
For sure, that sounds fun. I want to check it out. I'm sad that I can't drink beers tonight. It's weird being on our show without a beer in my hand. But
what you don't know what to do with your hands?
Identity crisis.
Really like, what the hell's going
Identity
on?
crisis. What do I do with my hands?
My wife even gave me a hard time today. She was like, "There's no beer," and I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, you're doing your podcast tonight." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not drinking tonight because I, switched my new medicine up a little bit, so I got to like make sure I'm good." She's like, "How are you gonna have the Beer Rose podcast without beer?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to die." I mean, that seems to be more important
Dude.
right now than the beer. I think she just wanted beer.
My
for
wife
life.
gets on me hardcore about mixing alcohol and medicine. Like I'm like, it's Tylenol. It's not gonna make that big of a difference.
No.
She'll be like, no, you're not taking Tylenol and drinking something.
Yeah. Mine's a new blood pressure medicine I'm taking, so I'm like, I gotta like let this stuff settle in a little bit, not take chances. So should be
Yeah,
good. next time
definitely
around,
be
though.
careful.
Ease into
The
it.
beer will be there next week.
That's right.
It will. Yep. But I have at this point, this is like the longest I haven't drank in like so long. Super Bowl was the last time I had a beer, so it's like over a week.
You haven't gone into anaphylactic shock or anything like that? Like your system's...
I felt like I got the shakes a little bit, but yeah, no, I don't.
That's good.
You know what cures the shakes? Pigeons.
That's an age-old adage. It's an old...
I like it.
All right. Well, that being said, it's time for the best segment, I think. Let's get into some Star Wars in general. MXPX is playing. Nobody can hear it, but our lovely listeners. All right. We don't want to get pulled from YouTube. Okay. I don't even put this on YouTube anymore, so I guess that's not a danger. I should though. This one will be a good one.
I went in the other day because I was uploading a few just random videos of my like fleet battles to people that were asking like how I did certain things, and I was like, last thing we had on there was like 61. I'm like, oh, it's pretty up to date. We've only missed like 2, so.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting. It's just a pain in the ass. But I'll do it. I'll do it eventually.
YouTube is a headache. Like I gave up taking my Twitch stuff to YouTube this last month just because I didn't have the time. It's
like
it's a headache. And you guys are already getting your stuff off in the podcast form.
Yeah, and that too. It's like we're distributing the same thing, 3 different ways, and like downloading the Twitch file like to your hard drive, and then putting it on YouTube. It's just like a lot of time of just sitting there like uploading shit. But I guess that's what like content creators that are actually good at it do. So whatever. Maybe one day.
Tuesday after the show takes a while. It's like download, then plug it in. You're sitting there for like 10 minutes waiting for like this huge file to go into GarageBand, and then you edit, and then it's got to go into Audacity, and then it's got to go into SoundCloud. Too many things.
Whoa, Biscuit just
annoying.
redeemed an F Marry Kill here. He used his wow, this is quite the F Marry Kill. So for the uninitiated, F Marry Kill stands for fuck Marry Kill, and we're a adult podcast here. And Biscuit has elected. So this is what's in front of us: Frog Lady from The Mandalorian season 2.
Okay.
Gina Carano and CGI Luke. Wow. So you have to fuck one, marry one, and kill one.
That's a good one.
It is a really good one, Biscuit. Especially in light of the new Gina Carano. Honestly, for the last year, Gina Carano is just kind of her. My vision of her has just turned. It's just done it's turned quickly, and we don't have to talk about like specifically like everything she said, but
No, I think we should talk specifically about everything she says.
No, no, but like, let's just talk specifically about the F Mary kill here. So, Darkit, if you're chomping at the bit, go ahead, or I can just wing it. I don't know.
Might have a controversial take on this. I think I'm gonna still go fuck Gina Carano because it's a one and done. You don't have to
Exactly.
That's hard to walk away from.
Exactly.
It's yeah.
Yeah, but fucking
I would-
CGI Luke or having sex with a frog. When given those options, I'm gonna choose Gina Carano 100% of the time. I don't see myself. I don't-
Only one has a vagina that I know of. I don't know how the frog lady works, but
Yeah, I don't know how exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how frogs actually work.
They, I
Because
think
she has eggs, so
they-
she's
right.
the frog.
You do your business in her jar. I guess that would that count as an F? I guess that's more of a. That's not more of a.
I don't think so.
That's not really a fuck. That's more of a.
I don't count it.
That's more of a impregnation. But I don't know. I guess.
but
do-
I'm for sure killing frog.
Insemination.
Yeah, I don't.
For sure killing frog lady.
Frogs don't get down. They just do it like by proxy. They're like, "There's my eggs.
Yeah.
You go do whatever you need to do. See ya. I'll be back around lunchtime."
I think it's more similar than you think it would be. It looks like.
Oh, we're solving the world's problems.
Yeah, like it's
Can you post some images into the Cantina graphic here?
it's
So
literally
they can see it?
exactly what you think it is. It's one frog on top of another frog.
Oh yeah, I've seen frogs fuck. That's
It's a
true.
pretty
I've
similar
watched a
process.
lot
But
of,
I don't think.
National Geographic documentaries. I've seen just about every animal have sex at this point. I think
It's not for me.
somebody's gonna clip
I don't
that.
think
So
they
that
have a
means
vag-
I'm left with
That
marrying.
already becomes incredibly difficult.
Yeah. I guess I'm marrying CGI Luke. He could teach me some things. Maybe.
Oh fuck
I guess learn
yeah,
Some
that'd be
things.
cool.
You know, be cool to hang out with.
I think I'm
He
with
looks a little
you.
Weird.
So sorry, can I continue?
Oh no, I just think I'm with Darkit. I like your line of thinking, man. I think I would marry Jedi. I'd marry CGI Luke. He could teach me we don't have to have sex. We could just hold hands and learn the Force together. We don't have to hold hands. We could just be bros, like hetero life mates. And
Also, can he marry?
Bros can
I
hold
don't know if
hands.
even
That's
thing he
that's
can marry.
allowable.
that's true. I don't mind. It's actually a funny story.
Oh,
It's not dirty.
yeah,
or
they can't have
anything.
attachments.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, it would be against his creed, but maybe he would break it for me. This one time I was hanging out with my friends, and they have kids. They have like 3 daughters, and they were all like holding hands. And she says to her dad, she's like, "Why aren't you holding hands with with Brick?" And we're like, "Okay, we can hold hands." So we were all just holding hands in a circle.
Nice.
Just these 2 dudes, just like
How to
hanging out.
preserve the children's innocence forever.
We're just
I hope it was Chris.
no, it was different.
No.
Yeah, different guy. It was really funny because we're not like best bros, We're just like we're friends, But it was funny.
Now you are.
Now we're married, so
Now you.
he's
now you
upstairs.
bros.
No. Okay. Anyway, I guess that's F Mary Kill. I think we satisfied it. That was a good one, Biscuit.
I would okay. I
unless
would
you
just
have
make
any strong-
one
Yeah, if you have strong
small
opinions, Calvin, go ahead.
adjustment.
Go ahead.
Gina Carano, the answer's obvious there. I'm not changing that one. It's just there's been too many photo shoots.
Right.
But I think I would marry Frog Lady. Like she seems really responsible. She's always out for her kids. She's obviously has a big thing for love because she literally traveled all of space to be with her hubby. So I would be okay with Frog Lady. Like I think if we're talking sexual stuff, that's already been talked about. So that
Right.
doesn't need to happen.
She
And
always has snacks.
Yeah, it's true. I had issues with killing Luke, but then I remembered it's only CGI Luke, so I think I could get away with that.
Yeah, that's
think
a
I
good.
can live with that.
That's a really good point too. Yeah, I wasn't. If I'm being honest, I did not like CGI Luke. I thought that was. I thought
But
it was kind of lame.
Are we talking like this impacts the storyline? Because then you're killing Luke. And...
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think
wait.
I think you kind of take him.
Hey,
out of
okay,
the-
no, but we're preventing. Okay, this is about to get into a completely different bait. Exactly, I'm preventing the sequel, Luke. I'm not preventing.
Maybe new line of reasoning here. I can follow.
I'm not touching Baby Luke and Revenge of the Sith, which is the best Luke.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we're. I don't think. I guess when I think of F, Marry, Kill, it's just sort of a. It's like this fictional universe where there's really no like. Well, this is fictional anyway, but there's no like ties to.
Oh yeah, no, this is totally real.
You know,
No strings attached.
yeah, exactly.
What are the
It's just
rules?
like it's like heaven. You know, I get to have sex with Gina Carano. I get to marry Luke, and have sex with a frog. That's a fuck. That's a fuck Mary. That's not it.
It's not
Anyway.
FFK.
Okay. So what we're
Also,
really
if you
okay.
kill Frog Lady, you kill that species. So
That's a great point.
You have to live with genocide. That's
Yeah.
a big one.
I mean, what are they contributing to society here? You know, like
We didn't even know they existed beforehand. So
they're hitchhikers. They're intergalactic hitchhikers. Okay, so
I guess so. I think there's a book about that.
there sure is. All right, so let's talk about what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Revenge of the Sith, a little movie released on May
15-year-old movies. That's why we're here.
19th, 2005. Man, I don't even know what I was doing at this time in my life. Do you guys remember? God damn.
I was waiting for Revenge of the Sith to come out. That's what I was doing.
Eagerly.
I'm pretty sure this was like right when I got engaged. We got married in 2007. I think around this time. It might have been like a couple months before. I forget the exact day. Don't say anything. But yeah.
Well, she's not going to listen to this.
Sometime around then.
You might as well
She's
go.
definitely not gonna listen
You
to
might as well
this.
go in the middle of Siberia and shout it. Like there's really no difference.
Yeah.
Were we playing in bands together at this time?
It would have been around that time, but I think I stopped at this point. This is like kind of near when like my student teaching was coming up and I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh,
So-
okay. When was our first show? 2005.
Because we played like 03 to 05 together, kind of that time range.
Yeah.
And I think I stopped around 05.
Okay. So we were in Monument at some point.
It was still Monument time, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting into the woods about something nobody
This is
cares
a
about.
fun little trip down memory lane. No, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I got to be in a band with you guys for a second.
Yeah, you did. You were the merch guy. I don't know if you play a musical instrument, so I'm just nominated
Nope,
you.
I'm definitely the merch guy. Like
Okay.
that's
Nice.
a comment. That's a compliment, if anything.
Okay, cool. All right, Darkus, what's going on in the world? This is your department.
Yeah, so George W. Bush starts his second term kind of in this year in 2005, a couple months before
W.
the movie comes out. Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. I don't know if that sounds familiar at all.
That happens every now and then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like every other year or something.
$1 Million Baby won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
North Korea announces that it has nukes.
Cool.
And
Oh, that's
one of
nice.
my favorite shows of all time, The Office, debuts on NBC.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Wow,
Other
those were.
important
That was at the
historical
same
events, but I picked
time.
those. Yeah.
Wow. That's a big year.
2005.
I'm a big fan of that last one. Second to last, not so much, but last one was good.
Yeah.
Not a North Korea fan.
The first two seasons of The Office are hard to fuck with, man. It's like, I think that's some of the best comedic writing of any show. Honestly, like it just incredible, in my opinion. I know those.
2 and 3.
Yeah,
I
3.
rewatch them to this day. Like I really, really like 2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah, 1 and 2 are the ones that I just like watched on loop, like playing World of Warcraft, being a piece of shit, and just had that on in the background just continuously.
Season 1, they were still like trying to figure out who they were. Like,
Mhm.
they hadn't separated themselves yet.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
it's
true.
fantastic. I like that season a lot, but like they don't really come into their own until I feel like season 2 and then 3 for sure. I think
Mhm.
2 and 3 are my favorites.
No, because they were transitioning. They were transitioning from the UK show.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how Americans were going to take the kind of humor. And I heard like Michael Scott's character did not go over well because he was essentially just an ass. in season 1, and it wasn't a funny ass. It was just like a jerk ass. So his character, I think, got changed a little bit into season 2, and probably some others as well.
So you guys want to start with the Office podcast?
Yeah.
I'm game.
I'm sure no one has done that yet. You know what no one has
But I
done?
remember-
A beer and the Office podcast. Wait,
Ooh.
that sounds familiar.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, that's definitely out there. The Beer Fist.
First time I watched this one was in theaters. I mean, I don't know who I saw it with, but I remember like going to see it for sure.
I don't remember. I think I
remember.
I think I might have watched it the first time on like a bootleg DVD of a guy that my dad worked with got, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, like the sequels were not like I saw Attack of the Clones in
Prequels.
theaters. I'm sorry, prequels. That was a big faux pas on my part. Sorry.
You're done.
Yeah, like I just like by the third one I was a little burnt out, and if I'm being totally honest, there was sort of like I feel like amongst my peers there was sort of like a little bit of sense of disdain
Yeah.
towards the
Oh, there was,
prequels, you know?
totally.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh yeah, it's the prequels, let's go, yeah, let's do it. It was just like that movie came out, yeah, and like we wouldn't really
We're gonna
talk
go see
about
this
it.
'cause we have to. Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't really like be honest about it. We're just like, yes, I saw the movie. And like, I don't know. I definitely would say this is probably one of my least watched Star Wars films. I liked it. That's the weird thing is I enjoyed it. But
The disdain of the prequels in general got to a lot of people, and it just kind of got pushed aside, even though it's an above average movie.
yeah, it
yeah, this one's
certainly
great.
it's aged well, and I definitely I've appreciated it more as time has gone on, and I definitely I'd say I'd put it up there with one of my favorite Star Wars films in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say.
How about you,
top
Calvin?
3 for sure.
Okay, so I didn't want to date myself, but I don't think there's any way of avoiding it at this point. So my dad grew up with the original trilogy. Like he was born in late 60s, early 70s, around that time period. So he got the sweep of the original trilogy, was a huge fan, loved it, and then he kind of brainwashed me as a kid, in the best sense of the way of like I watched 4, 5, and 6 like every single week. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing. I'm like, oh, that's the coolest thing. And then the prequels started coming out, and the Phantom Menace hit, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Darth Maul's spiky head, 2-sided lightsaber. I never saw this before. And the lightsaber fights were just so cool. They were so cool in the prequels. Attack of the Clones came out, loved it too, loved it to death. What like kid or teenager didn't think that Natalie Portman was the hottest thing in the world?
Oh my god. Still do.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was everything I could ever want. Like I thought Jar Jar Binks was hilarious. And then I'm waiting for Revenge of the Sith to come out. And this, I kid you not, this is going to sound almost sad. Like this is what my life was building up to. Like I had imagined what Revenge of the Sith was going to be like for so long. And my mom made my dad go watch it first because she heard that there was something about Anakin killing children in it. And she wanted to make sure it didn't pop up on screen. And this is before we had like the internet or something like that. So he had to go see it first. And I remember that. I'm like, oh no, I want to go see it. And she's like, no.
Tell me everything, Dad.
No, I would ask him. I'd be like, wait, what happened with this guy? He's like, do you want me to tell you? And I'm like, no.
Yes, no.
But eventually I ended up going to see it, and it was a surreal thing because on one hand I really liked it, but on the other hand I felt like I lost my purpose in life. It was a weird day. It was a weird day for Calvin.
How old were you at the time? Do you remember?
I was 9. I was 9 years old.
Okay. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
your
I
life,
was-
of course. If you were in like,
Yeah.
It literally
no,
was
that
my life.
does.
Like this is what I was waiting for.
I get it.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. You know what? My life at 9 was sandbox cars. It were fucking Matchbox cars in a sandbox. That was my life. So having a Star Wars obsession would have been way cooler. Would have been way more purposeful than fighting over property in a sandbox with my dipshit neighbors. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, there was the dipshit part was there too. Like I was also the kid with the lightsaber out in the backyard hitting trees like they were battle droids or something like that.
You were a lightsaber kid.
But no, so yes, I was a big lightsaber kid. That's that video that circulated. It wasn't me, but it might as well have been. Sorry, I got lost here for a second. But no, yeah, I really liked it. And my dad, he was one of the original trilogy fans that wasn't super sour about it. So I didn't realize people didn't like the prequels until like 5 years ago. I was like, you don't like Jar Jar Binks? Like, why? How? Like, I was just like baffled by it. But then that obsession died down until Disney got it and started to relight the fire in me. And now it's like, now my wife buys things like this for me when she goes out.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So yeah,
wow.
it is my favorite movie. Not just Star Wars movie. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're here to discuss it with us, man. That's awesome.
I am excited, to say the least.
It's funny, like getting into and I don't know. I guess I didn't clarify this, but we are continuing our chronological viewing of all Star Wars video content. So that's why we're not just randomly talking about Revenge of the Sith, which I think most people.
Because Calvin's here,
right? Which is, I guess, purpose enough to talk about it. But so, like, it is an interesting phenomenon, the prequels, and how they're sort of panned by a portion of the Star Wars fan base, and largely I think over time it's very unfounded. It's like, sure, Jar Jar Binks can be annoying and over the top, but at the same time, like, you look at George Lucas at the time making these films, and they're definitely more catered towards children. And he was a father. He has kids, and like that's the lens that he's kind of seeing these things through. And similarly, Peter Jackson was a similar way with a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies as he had kids, and like they became more, for a different audience. But at the end of the day, it's like there are really good parts of the prequels, and they're still they're enjoyable movies to watch. They're not like, oh my god, this is fucking terrible. Like I think there's definitely like a overreaction in a lot of the Star Wars fans,
and they're not cinematic masterpieces,
right?
Like if you want to take them apart by some of the dialogue or the acting or even the special effects, yeah, they're gonna fall down. I think Revenge of the Sith is the one that's the most redeemable in that aspect. But the story as a whole, I still think was very, very, very strong. It worked. I think you're right that George Lucas, he wanted to go after kids as a viewership because he already had the adults. Like he didn't need to go after the dude in his late 20s to early 30s because he already has that dude. He wanted to get Calvin and the people from my generation, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I guess we've got budget $113 million. Seems low for a Star Wars film.
It would be more than that too, actually, but
it could have been because of the first
two. Inflation or not, but
a lot of green screens.
Yeah.
800 million.
Made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprising. 800 million box office.
Good.
So yeah, I guess you want to get into the plot here, or do you want to? What else do you want to talk about first?
No, I recorded a couple quotes, but we'll do those later on.
Okay, cool. So we have like a synopsis here, but we don't have to go line by line. Now, just like for me watching this, I haven't watched this since I watched the Clone Wars. So like it was interesting. It was like watching it for the first time in a lot of ways. It's just a different experience, like that was always kind of an issue for me when I watched the prequels is that there's this huge gap. You know, the Clone Wars start in the last like 10 minutes of the Clone Wars movie,
and it finishes.
Yeah, and it's just like over, and then
at 10 minutes into the third one.
Right, and it's like you miss all of that. You miss everything that goes on. You're just like, oh yeah, there was this big war that you didn't see, but whatever. And it's like, no, what happened? Like, there was a lot of character development in there. Like, I want to know
what happened.
Right? No, it's over. You don't worry about it. We'll make a a 8-season or 8-season cartoon out of it at some point. But I think it was interesting. Like, there was definitely more character development in there, and if I'm being honest, not as much as I would have hoped for, but like there was definitely some character building and more understanding of what was going on during that time, and definitely added context for the Star Wars universe. And in addition to that, the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, like tons of things.
I did this is how bored I was one day. I did a little game where I took every character from the game. This was over a year ago now, so this might not even be true anymore. But I took every single character in the game and I separated them into like their first appearance. Like, where did this character first come from? Was it episode 4? Was it episode 3? Or this version of this character? And the highest number, the number of highest content from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is from the prequel / Clone Wars era. Like that is where the bulk of our characters in game are from. It beats all other areas. But I will say that the movie with the least amount of characters is Phantom Menace, and I still hate that. We have like 5 characters that can be tied down to the Phantom Menace.
That's interesting. I guess I never really thought of that. And a lot of the characters from that film suck.
Yeah. Or like they didn't. Yeah. I think we have B1, Droideka, Newt. We don't have. Oh yeah, Qui-Gon sucks. We don't have Padawan Obi-Wan, which I want that character. But anyways,
that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, that should be in.
Biscuit says you can thank Eth Koth and the Galactic Republic Jedi for that.
Yeah, those guys are rough. That's got to be the worst. Like that's got to be the worst faction in game.
What were you saying, Darkit?
No, nothing. I was gonna get into that space battle at the beginning of the first couple scene.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's a really cool opening sequence. I think probably one of the best of the prequels for sure.
100%.
You get right into action, which is always what you want to see. We have the two in their Edda. Are they both Eddas?
I believe so. Yes.
At the beginning here. Yeah. Taking on the. I don't know if it's Malevolence that Grievous is on, but
it's the Invisible intense, Hand, I believe. If I remember correctly.
The Invisible Hand. Pretty intense space battle here. And the idea is trying to get to Palpatine and rescue him overall. So a lot of stuff kind of goes on in this, and it's really just a fun way to start the movie. And then I don't want to like jump over a bunch of stuff here, but eventually the thing starts crashing and they got to gain control of it and bring it down into the atmosphere of Coruscant and land it somewhat safely. And they do, but a lot happens at the beginning of that, and
that's pretty much cool Act 1
to the movie.
Yeah. Like there's the buzz droids. I didn't really realize were a thing. I mean, I understood.
The buzz droids were kind of fun to.
Like seeing the Galaxy of Heroes connection was cool. Like and Anakin helps scrape off some buzz droids on Obi-Wan's ship, and in typical Anakin fashion, saving Obi-Wan's bacon.
While almost killing him.
Yeah, right.
Why do I have the feeling you're going to be the death of me?
Right. Ironic. But yeah, and also another thing that happens, like when they do get into the ship, they do try to rescue the Chancellor, and Dooku is homeboy's on the ship, and there's a fight that ensues, and Anakin under the
Tyrannus.
Yeah, under the
it's a cool name that never gets used.
Right.
I know.
under the influence of the Chancellor, is instructed to do it, and he does
He
it.
does it.
He just straight up murks
Does.
Dooku, and that's like I think one of the first times where like he outright goes against the Jedi code and does a Sith-like behavior. You know.
Yeah, and even Palpatine, he rounds it out there. He's like, okay, you. Actually, I don't know if it was this fight. It might have been later on when he talks about the Sand People. He's like, I know you do with the Sand People. Like, he tries to justify this type of behavior, and you can see, like you said about the Clone Wars, it adds to this. There is a gradual increase of Anakin being willing to kill people over less and less things. Like the first one, because he killed his mom. Like, you know, don't touch people's moms and you won't get killed. He ends up killing another guy that was about to blow up a whole spaceship in pretty much cold blood. Again, more or less acceptable. And then you get to the end of the Clone Wars series, and he kills Admiral Trench basically just because Trench is a jerk.
That's a good
And
point.
then we get to Count Dooku, and is like, there was really no reason to kill him. Like, he totally could have been taken captive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he killed him like more out of revenge. You know,
Yep.
like he took his hand in the Clone Wars when they first fought, when he was inexperienced, and just kind of killed him out of spite. You know, like just
No, it was full on revenge. Like you said, it was a Sith thing to do. There wasn't different from what he did in the Clone Wars. There was no real rationale of I need to do this to save someone. Nobody was in danger. Count Dooku didn't have hands.
Yep. So they eventually they rendezvous with Grievous. They set up this this ruse to get the Chancellor, who is with Grievous, and of course Palpatine engineered to a T. Which one thing I did notice at one point, so they do get the Chancellor from Grievous, and they're escaping with the Chancellor. Like there is a scene where the Chancellor's like falling down this like elevator shaft.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's a fun one.
he's definitely, like, I never realized it before, but like I am certain that he's using his Sith powers on the low key to stay alive during these scenarios. Like, wouldn't you think? Like,
Oh, totally.
like he plays it off in a way that like he does this multiple times. I feel like where he's like, you know, oh, I'm just the Chancellor. Like, oh, luckily I held on.
Yeah,
I'm a
he has-
little
he has
old
to play
man. I
himself
can't
as-
hurt no one.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
he
with
has
the
to play up
fight-
the innocence, but I think he does have to protect himself, you know, because
Yeah.
it's still out of control at times in this whole sequence.
Even in the last later in the movie when he fights Mace, I think that he's definitely turtling at that moment. Like, you know, for many years, I guess we'll talk about it later, but like, for many years I always thought that like, oh, Mace defeated Darth Sidious. I don't think Mace defeated shit. I think
That's a big debate until today of whether that if that was real or not.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll talk about it. It'll be a good debate later when we get to that point in the movie. But yeah. So yeah, so ended up
Even before they get to
Oh,
even
good.
before they get to Grievous, I like the run through the I don't know, the hallway, whatever it is, and the ray shields come
shields.
down, and it's
Yep.
like, yeah, it comes out of nowhere. It's like, ray shields, we're smarter than this. So just wait for R2, and then R2 comes in, just like it's slammed into the wall.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good,
there is-
good little like fun comedy in this part.
It's a good feel, like a good, yeah, I agree. It's a really good intro to a Star Wars movie. It's just like, boom, you're in the action, you're
Yeah.
feeling good. You've got the relationship of Anakin and Kenobi. You've got the comic relief with R2. Like, they're talking to him on the intercom, and
Yeah.
he's, you know,
R2's melting droids because he splattered them in oil and then set them on fire.
yeah.
Because he's like, apparently he's a gangster.
Right, exactly.
I think something that like this movie did well that like maybe, and I could be misremembering, that the first two prequels didn't, was like they really got the quirkiness of the original trilogy a little better. That like the comedy wasn't always there in the same way in the first two movies. You know, they pushed the comedy, but like in ways that didn't always, for me, feel like natural to Star Wars. And I think like in some of these scenes they got closer to it, feeling more like that kind of quirkiness that the original series had in it. I don't know. Like
No, yeah.
just the R2 thing, I think was a good example of that even.
Because the comic relief in the original trilogy, it was 3PO. Like he was the one making like, oh no, and sarcastic comments and stuff like that. And the prequel trilogy, they went in more of a slapstick type of humor with Jar Jar, and it was not the same feel at all. And I think you're correct. I think we went back to that a little bit in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so they've got this giant ship that Anakin ends up safely crashing, quote unquote,
the best
into
pilot
this
in the galaxy.
Right. They crash it down. Everybody's safe. Grievous escapes.
Another happy landing.
Yep.
Like
that's one of the quotes. Yep. Another happy landing. That's what. Is it Obi-Wan says that?
Yep.
That's probably my favorite one from the whole movie.
That's a good one. And then Grievous escapes. Because he's a coward. Anakin's reunited with Padme, and we learn that she's pregnant. And I do want to say, like, in the Clone Wars, I think they did a good job of sort of establishing the relationship between Anakin and Padme in the early part of the Clone Wars. But towards the end of the Clone Wars, you didn't see it as much, and maybe that's just naturally because Anakin was away more often and doing war shit. But
committing war crimes.
Right. He was preoccupied, but like I think there could have been opportunity to reinforce, even if it's just, them talking to one another on a comm link or whatever. I don't know.
The only time that I remember like any relationship storyline was between Clovis was involved, and I didn't want to watch it because Clovis was involved. So
yeah, a lot of the unfortunately, one of the things that a lot of people didn't like from the prequels were the politics involved. And almost every single episode that Padme popped up in the Clone Wars, it went back to that topic. I enjoy them. I don't skip them when I rewatch it through, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, so Padme is pregnant, we learn, and then they're together sleeping. They're still keeping their relationship, hidden, but the night that they're sleeping together in the same bed, Anakin has a vision of Padme dying at childbirth. So this kind of like sparks, visions of his mother dying and trying. He wants to eventually find a way to prevent her from dying, which propels a lot of his decisions throughout this film. So one evening, Anakin is called to the Coruscant Opera House for a private meeting with the Chancellor.
They have a hot date. That's what's going on there.
We start to see the manipulation a little bit. Kind of start with Anakin because he is close with the Chancellor, and even Palpatine, like he says to him that he's aware of the Jedi's plan to try and overthrow him, because Obi-Wan kind of has Anakin working as like a mole for him for the Jedi Council, because they do fear that there's something, his abusive power. He's had these emergency powers for well after his term has ended, and it is just so funny that all of these Jedi are just like, no, I don't know who the Sith is. I couldn't tell you, man. It's crazy. There's just I can't possibly think of who it could be, all their fortitude and like foresight, like they're just like, nope.
One of the arguments that's come out more, and it's been reinforced with the Clone Wars, is because the Jedi, for the vast majority, or for the most part, they were really corrupt by the end of the Clone Wars, even before the Clone Wars started. Like that's why Qui-Gon Jinn and Count Dooku kind of were distancing themselves. They like Mace Windu was a warmonger. He wanted them to be generals and to be able to kill people. They were not peacekeepers anymore. So that kind of and also Sidious is incredibly powerful. The combination of those two things, he was able to hide kind of in the darkness for the most part. Yeah, it was a little obvious at some points.
Well, yeah, and at one point, Palpatine starts telling Anakin about a Sith legend revolving Darth Plagueis the Wise, which,
Yep.
which in previous watches, it just kind of like went over my head. I'm just like, whatever, that's some guy. But like, I actually looked into it, and that was Darth Plagueis was Sidious' master. I didn't realize
Yep,
that.
he was the apprentice who kills him in his sleep.
Crazy. I didn't know anything about that. That's and about his Darth Plagueis apparently learned how to revive people or bring people back from the dead, which we come to learn appears to just be a ruse that Palpatine used to entice Anakin to come to the dark side.
I don't know. I think he actually might know how, but there's no way he's gonna do it. Because if he gives Padme, if he were to give Padme back to Vader, then he loses Vader. So
Right.
to keep Vader on the, yeah, he wasn't gonna do it. But I think Palpatine knew. I think he
Yeah.
knew how to do it.
Maybe he could, but he never fulfilled his end of the bargain, or maybe maybe it just like, once Anakin became Darth Vader, it was no longer something he even wished to do. Like, oh, what about my family? It's like, nah, I don't know if Darth Vader's having those thoughts.
But even there's theories around that Sidious is actually the one who took away Padme's life force towards the end of her life. Like,
Ooh.
he tells a story about that Plagueis had the ability to manipulate the midichlorians to create life. And the idea is you just do it in reverse, like manipulate the midichlorians to take away life.
Oh, that could be. That would make sense of her not dying of a broken heart. That would.
From the big sad.
And then, so meanwhile, this is going on. You're starting to see kind of like Sidious planting these seeds in Anakin. Obi-Wan's off on trying to track down Grievous' whereabouts, and he goes to this other planet, which I don't remember the name of. I don't know if it's necessarily important. Winds up on this planet and ends up dropping down and having a fight with Grievous.
Hello there.
Yeah, and it sparks, a lot of iconic There's a lot of iconic dialogue in this.
There's
film.
a lot of memes. There's a whole lot of memes in this movie. Like we've been through at least a dozen so far.
It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, we get
my favorite. That one's my favorite because I use it all the time to like vet people. Like I'll
Are you a fan?
or I'll post I'll post the meme and it's like this is an easy one. It's like you see Kenobi and it says hello there and then what's your response? And someone's like, hey, how's it going? And it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Wrong.
General Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's a little over the top. Like, Kenobi drops down into this platform just filled to the brim,
Surrounded by droids.
Right. Why they don't just blast him to shit right there on the spot? I don't know. But he engages with Grievous, and they end up having this duel. And honestly, like Grievous, there's really not much that's intimidating about Grievous. Like, sure, he's a metalloid monster, or I guess a metalloid monstrosity, but he's just like he fucking runs all the time. He gets his ass kicked in the Clone Wars. He has breathing issues. He's always coughing.
Have you seen the 2003 General Grievous?
See, that one is terrifying. Yes, that one is dope as fuck. Like you're talking about the Samurai Jack.
Cartoon? The animation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one is dope. But like
that's like Darth Vader level of dope. Like he's coming after you, you're gonna die, and there's nothing you can do to change it.
Yeah, that one is very cool. But like as far as he's depicted in the Clone Wars, like he kills some like meager Jedi. Like he has a one-on-one with Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto survives. He
killed like some cocky like newbie Jedi Knight. Like that was his biggest kill,
yeah.
I think.
And he has like this collection of lightsabers, and like you're supposed to understand or like believe that he's this like really badass. I don't know. I just don't get that impression at all, especially in the films. Like in hindsight, like sure he can spin them around, he can spin 4 lightsabers at a time, but Kenobi just chops him down. and dismantles him. Really.
In his defense, the council specifically sent Kenobi after him because Kenobi's style, I'll probably butcher the pronunciation, but I think it's Sarusu or Saruzo or something like that.
He's a hard counter.
Yeah, it's a hard counter. It's a hard counter to Grievous. Grievous is a full-on attacker, and apparently, Saruzo, you defend and take apart your enemy. So it was the battle was over before it began, essentially. Okay.
Oh, one random thing I didn't think about or I didn't mention. Early in the film, Obi-Wan is talking, I think, to Yoda, and he mentions that Master Voss is like leading a war effort. So he mentions Voss, which is just like a really random callback because obviously
Lucas does that though. He just throws names out for funsies.
Yeah, and like they kind of reversed engineered it in the Clone Wars because there's like that one episode, I think maybe two, where Voss is in it. But and what was Voss? He was like kind of wild looking, right? He has like long hair, kind of a loose cannon, right?
Yeah, he was very so much Anakin style. Like he was like, I play by my own rules, a little bit of a rebel. His character is actually expanded a lot in the Dark Disciple book, which is it's basically what finishes Asajj's story after the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Now, you see a lot more of his character in there.
Yeah, I just thought that was a random kind of callback. And one other thing, too, like when Palpatine is talking to Anakin, these are just random thoughts that I had. I liked how, like, as part of just speaking about the manipulation or the manipulative side of Palpatine, when he's talking to Anakin, he describes the dark side as a larger view of the Force, which is like a very like I don't know what's the word, like rose-colored glass, you know, like you're looking through a rose-colored lens, like it's just a larger view of the Force. It's like, no, it's straight up like the worst, like the evil part of the Force, you know, like there's nothing like, you know, oh yeah, you didn't learn about in your Jedi training, all the dark sides of the, you know, the dark side, the dark arts or whatever. Like, it was kind of funny. Like, I don't know, the manipulation of Palpatine is second to none. I mean, that's how he operates, you know.
Oh, and he knew Anakin's weak points. Like he knew what Anakin was after. Darth Maul says at the end of the Clone Wars, he was groomed for this. Like Palpatine has been on his back ever since he came to Coruscant as a child. So he had it coming. It was well orchestrated.
Yep. Let's see where we're at in the film here. Okay, so Anakin basically learns that, I don't know if this is where we're at in the film, but Kenobi defeats Grievous. He shoots him. He ends up shooting him. And it's kind of a cool death because he shoots him with a blaster and his innards just ignite and he just extinguishes at that point. Kind of a cool death, actually. Doesn't even do it with Jedi shit. He just shoots a blaster to the chest.
Oh, yeah, they had to vary it a little bit. They couldn't just keep cutting people's heads off.
Right. And then I think it cuts back. Anakin is it's now revealed that Anakin, or that Palpatine is he straight up tells him that he's, you know, a Sith. Anakin goes to Mace Windu, lets him know, and then Mace Windu kind of like orchestrates a I don't want to call it a murderer's row, because it's really not. They just he gets some bullshit Jedi together, and they mostly get slaughtered like lamb. And then it boils down to Mace. And Mace is like always described as like, you know, this.
He's very powerful.
Super powerful, right?
Very, very powerful. Like second to Yoda.
Right. Yep. And like, what did somebody say in one of the films? They were like, he's as strong as Mace Windu. Who are they referencing? I can't remember.
Anakin was talking about Obi-Wan. Like Padme's like, he's your master. You should respect him. Like, I know. He's as wise as Master Yoda, strong as Mace Windu, etc.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I love Obi-Wan. I that's a cool quote. But yeah, Mace Windu, they get into this altercation, and Palpatine ends up trying to shock Mace, and he deflects it to begin with. Anakin rushes in, like he's starting to have like regrets, rushes in and to try and assist. And Mace Windu, prior to them going to try and arrest the Chancellor, said that he can't join, and which makes sense. I mean, Anakin is very close with the Chancellor. He's going to do nothing but like he's going to have clouded judgment going into it potentially. Yep. So it makes sense.
Emotionally involved,
right? Makes total sense to not allow him to impact that. But Anakin goes against that and eventually shows up, mid scuffle, and Mace is about ready to murk the Chancellor, and Anakin intervenes, and this is again like I think where Palpatine is kind of sandbagging a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm just an old frail man, capable of force lightning Mace to smithereens, but and it forces Anakin to interject himself into the situation, and then who chucks Mace off of through the window?
It ends up being Palp. Palp does, I think, because Anakin cuts his hand in an effort to keep him going, Palpatine, and then it's like a force shock into a bush. Like Palpatine grabs him with the lightning and just throws him.
Yeah, which is a crazy scene, and we see the actual transformation from Chancellor Palpatine to Emperor Palpatine. He becomes frail. His face is all baggy now, and like he just looks all fucked up because he used the Force lightning.
Well, and so I don't know if the Force lightning did that to him, or that Force lightning just revealed what his actual face was, because we know that he have you seen Rebels?
Not all of it. I've only watched like the first 8 episodes.
Okay. Well, never mind. In one of the Thrawn books, they mentioned that Palpatine to all like the crowd, to all the Empire, to all the universe, he displays himself as the same Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine of the prequels, like not with the jacked up face.
Like it's like a projection almost.
Exactly. I don't know if at this point it was a prediction, but we know with beyond the shadow of a doubt that later on it was a projection of this good version of himself.
Interesting. Okay, so it could be. So.
But yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure who would actually have won the fight, but I think Palpatine was 100% holding back.
Yeah.
I think if he wasn't, we would have gotten a much more fleshed out battle, like we got with Yoda and Sidious, or with Anakin and Obi-Wan. I don't know who would have won, but it would have gone a lot farther than a few clashes and then Palpatine sitting down on the ground.
Right. And after this scene, Anakin is knighted essentially and deemed Darth Vader at that point. So I think from this point on, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think I heard Solo Base talking about it. At this point, once he's now a Sith, he's now Darth Vader. He's no longer Anakin. Which my GL speculation, if I may, is I think this would make a ton of sense for CG. If they did a Galactic Legend Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Galactic Legend young Darth Vader, reminiscent of the fight that they have on Mustafar. Mm-hmm. So it would be like the Obi-Wan Kenobi. He'd be cloakless. He'd have the high boots on, like the traditional Jedi garb. Mm-hmm. And young Darth Vader, to distinguish him from Jedi Knight Anakin, because Jedi Knight Anakin is pretty much spot on with what young Darth Vader, quote unquote, looks like.
Yeah. You give him a cloak and yellow eyes, though.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you do. You give him the cloak. Maybe he doesn't have the cloak over his head because it may get confusing with him and all the other cloaked characters, all the Palpatines. But
they could also just change his stance.
Yeah, change his stance. That's true. Give him the crazy eyes as well. I don't know how much that would differentiate him from Jedi Knight Anakin, but it could if they did it properly, like it made it really distinctive, it could be enough. But I think that's really interesting. That would be interesting.
I think you're spot on with like, that being like the next two. But I feel like it's going. I don't know if like the timeline that you're working with is going to be what they do, because I feel like it's going to play into the Obi-Wan series and whatever Anakin, whatever Darth Vader looks like in that. So I don't necessarily know if it's going to be Mustafar battle kind of related, or if it's going to be based off of like how they see first encounter each other again in that series.
Yeah,
I like that idea though.
It could be. I think for them to be Galactic Legends, like I think that they'll like the versions that I'm talking about are Galactic Legend worthy at this time. Like I think a lot of people would be into it. I think it would be polarizing.
I think it's not a little, but by far the most natural fit on a number of levels. I think a lot of people would like it. Like we talked about, like my generation loving the prequels. My generation are now in their 20s and 30s. There are accountants that spend money on this game. I've met quite a few of them. So there is profit in it. And also, it's just so natural. Like we have the sequel, Galactic Legends. We have pretty much the original trilogy, Galactic Legends, with the ultimate form of Luke and Palpatine. We're missing the other biggest era of Star Wars, and Galactic Republic Jedi suck. And
they could give that leader you've been asking for.
Yeah, exactly. It would just be a perfect fit, and they could even throw Anakin Imperial Troopers. Because at this point in time, when he led the 501st Legion in to kill everyone in the Jedi Temple, they weren't clone troopers anymore. They're part of the Empire. They are Imperial Troopers.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And so, because that faction's good, but it's not amazing. It's not. You're not going to kill all the Galactic Legends. Maybe one of them, who shall remain unnamed.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be dope. I mean, I think like who doesn't like Kenobi? Like who's going to be bummed about grinding a Galactic Legend Kenobi? Like, oh, another fucking Kenobi.
But
like,
if Cam is one of the characters that you need, and you have to have a 7-star relic Cam, then we're gonna have issues for a lot of people. If he's one of the unlocked characters, you got an issue.
I think you're kind of hosed either way on that one, because let's say they don't require him. Okay, let's say they don't require him, but then you get this ultra-powered Galactic Legend, and you don't have a character that gives everyone 30 speed and doubles their damage and everything, and you kind of it's kind of like a Darth Revan without a Malak thing. Like,
yeah,
he's good, but he's not gonna hold.
Yeah,
he's not gonna hold. So I think it would almost be better if they made him a requirement, because a lot of people have gotten to the point with Cam where they just don't care. Like, he's not a game breaker. And his mission requires game-breaking effort.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it'd be
he's just not
interesting.
on the right team. Once he gets in the right fit, this could be like something they've been planning out for a while. And they just didn't really have a true home yet.
Well, like, speaking of Zareth is in chat. What's up, man?
They didn't have a home. Like, the best Galactic Republic lead is arguably like Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, which are almost launch characters.
Well, Zareth mentioned it. The General Kenobi with the clones mission in LSTB just is nearly.
The 212th.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible. It's
Yep.
it's a joke. Like you wonder what other shoe is left to fall, and you'd wonder what a possible Galactic Legend General Kenobi would be like in that territory battle.
It could even just be a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say they release the episode 3, I don't know what the phase is, but like that armor clone trooper, and you also throw him in as a 4th on that mission. He makes it totally possible, but that character is also a requirement to get one of these 2 new Galactic Legends. So there's room for it.
Yeah, I've grappled with what the next Galactic Legends could be, and I think that makes those two make a lot of sense, especially watching their lightsaber duel. Like, there's just a lot of intrigue there. And this version of Darth Vader, like, I think they could call it young Darth Vader, or
Yeah, I know he's Vader. Like, and you could call him Lord Vader. You could call him Pre-Suit Vader.
yeah,
Young Vader's good too. Vader Unmasked.
yeah. I think there's a lot of options there, and I mean, we're gonna talk about their fight later, but there's just a lot of things they could do easily with the kits to make them compelling, and there's very like their signature moves there. Like, it just would make a lot of sense, and I think it would keep the intrigue there. Because previously I've thought, like, okay, what if there's a Galactic Legend Han of some sort, a Galactic Legend Leia? It's like, sure, it would make sense. They're iconic characters, but like, are people really going to bend over backwards for them? Like, are people really going to be energized to grind these characters? Like, if you're a prequel fan, you're going balls out on one of these.
Yeah, you are. It's why I'm not going against for Galactic Legend right now. Like, I'm holding.
Right, and like, even if you're not, like, I think if you're not a prequel fan per se, like, everybody loves Kenobi. Like, Ewan McGregor as Kenobi, anybody who's played Kenobi, like, you just love the character. And if he energized that Galactic Republic faction and, just brought a lot more to just having another solid Jedi, like, I think people would go crazy for it, personally.
Yeah. You said it. Like, there's always one actor per trilogy that just blows everyone out of the water, and the prequel trilogies was Ewan McGregor. He just did a phenomenal job.
Yep, I agree. Can't wait for his spinoff, man. That's kind of like it. That's where we don't know where his spinoff starts. Is it immediately following Revenge of the Sith? Or do we know that yet? We don't.
No, we don't.
Know that, right?
We don't. Originally, when it was a movie and the movie idea was leaked, it was supposed to be pretty directly after, and it was actually about him solving local trouble with some like Tusken Raider gang or something like that. But I think they're leaning, and this is where I think Darth Darkhead might actually end up being totally right. They're leaning really hard on this, like, the rematch of the century idea.
Right.
Between Vader and Obi-Wan, the Galactic Legends could be that version. Even if the Vader has let's say that this Vader's armor is different, like that alone is enough for them to build a new kit.
Right.
So that's totally a possibility. Because my only problem with these two as a GLs right now is it doesn't make any sense for what they've been doing.
Like, as far as new character releases.
Exactly. Like, all the other Galactic Legends, they had characters coming up to the release. Piet, Mon Mothma, the Resistance Cerebros, Hux, etc. These we've been getting like
lots of
armor.
All Mando shit. Yeah, you're right. It makes you wonder, but Galactic Legend, it's like, who in the Mandalorian series are you going to make a Galactic Legend? That's the tough
I don't
part.
like anyone. I don't like anyone in that entire series to be a Galactic Legend. Like, the closest would have been Jedi Knight Luke, and we have a really good Jedi Knight Luke.
Yeah, there does need to be something else.
So Biscuit said Ahsoka, there could be, but I don't know if she's a Galactic Legend necessarily. And it seems like the timing would be more convenient when her series is released,
That's exactly what I think too. Ahsoka is. I would argue that she is. She has fought every single major Sith from canon and survived, and Grievous.
Mm-hmm.
She's a big deal. She's well known.
But is she well known to the masses? I think a lot of people see her and they go, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, who's Ahsoka?
But I mean, at one point, Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan were the meta, and I had no idea who they were.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
I still don't know who they are. They were in a game that I didn't play.
A couple seasons down, you could get a Grogu. Like, he's not done a ton yet, but like, he could be this, very, very powerful Galactic Legend. And 2 seasons from now, you never know.
They could make my headcanon, or my theory about the whole Mandalorian series, that the title, The Mandalorian, is not Din Djarin, it's Baby Yoda. Like, he is this new Mandalorian that is going to rise above the rest.
Interesting. Interesting
one
theory.
more comment. Oh yeah, about Ahsoka. she's Galactic Legend worthy, but they're not going to screw up her series. Like they're not going to release a Galactic Legend Ahsoka next month full of spoilers for the new TV series. They're gonna that's gonna make its own money. They don't need to do Galactic Legends of it right now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense down the road for sure, and it could be and engage, based on popularity and how these series do. I think that could be in their plans, but I don't know. I just really watching Revenge of the Sith. I'm like, God damn, those would be. I would be super stoked for those. Like
they fit it too
be
well.
very cool.
They fit it so well.
Yeah.
All the Galactic Legends, they have a specific duel in the third tier. I mean, that's the coolest duel of all time.
Right. Like what? Like it's up there with the most epic duels of all Jedi. It's just, or not. I guess not Jedi, but just.
I think it fights for first. Honestly, if it might not be first, but it definitely fights for best lightsaber battle of all the movies that we have.
Yeah, and with technology, making it as epic of a fight as it is, because that's the problem with the sequels is like the sequel trilogy is that there's just so many, or not sequel trilogy. Is it sequel trilogy? 4, 5, and 6? Is that what you call the sequel trilogy? Original trilogy. Okay, sequel is all the my bad. Oh shit, lost a lot of listeners there. But yeah, the original trilogy, like the lightsaber battles are dog shit largely. Aside from like Return of the Jedi, like
it just wasn't in the time.
No, like the Vader Obi-Wan duel is just laughable if you watch it now.
Someone remade that fight. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
The remake is cool. The remake is cool.
The remake is really, really cool.
The remake is really cool.
I haven't seen that, no.
Yeah. You have to check that out.
No, I've watched it probably like 6 times. It's really, really good.
Okay, so sorry to go off on a tangent there, but all right, so we gotta get through this plot here. We're almost to the end, I guess. So at that point, we left off where Palpatine and Mace have their conflict, and Mace gets his hands cut off and shot out a window. Palpatine then knights Darth Vader, Anakin, and he then executes Order 66. So finally, the execution of Order 66, the clones turn on the Jedi, and they just start slaughtering fools left and right. One of the worst killings of Jedi was Ayla Secura's. And I'll reenact it for you guys. You guys ready for this? She goes.
I don't see her belly.
What was that? What was that? I'll do it again. What was that? What the fuck was that? She didn't even get shot. She just fell down. She just threw her arms up in the air. What the fuck was that shit? Terrible death.
Did you guys either read or not read? Did you ever play the original Battlefront 2?
I don't think I did.
I did not.
They go through the episode 3, and one of the storylines said that it was like really, really, really hard for her platoon to kill her. Like I think this is the fact before they invented the microchip thing.
Oh.
It's an interesting tidbit. They really didn't want to do it.
Well, Cam went down like a bitch. He really did. And Plo Koon, I felt a little sad.
Plo Koon didn't have a chance. He was in a ship. Like,
what
are you gonna do? Stick the lightsaber out?
I felt a little more sad, like after watching the Clone Wars, but like not that much more sad watching him die. It was just kind of like, oh, there's a guy. He's dead. He's got a breathing apparatus. He was on his last leg anyway, and he's gone. And then during this, all of this is happening. Like Obi-Wan and Yoda team up, and they're like, "Hey, man, shit's going down. We got to get back to, I guess the Chancellor and see what's going on." Watching them kill clones was like oddly satisfying to me. I don't know if you guys recall that scene or not, but like it was kind of sweet watching Yoda and Obi-Wan just like fuck up clones. I don't know why. I guess because I wasn't that big of a fan of the clones like overall in the Clone Wars, but
they did it so aggressively too, like getting to Yoda throwing the lightsaber into the chest and then him like yanking it out of him. It was a good fight scene.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Like I don't know, I don't know. I anytime Yoda's using a lightsaber is awesome. I don't know, it just makes me feel good. So there's like a confrontation. Obi-Wan, he learns of the Jedi Temple attack, which we haven't talked about yet. So Anakin, he kills some younglings. And not
some
Yinglings,
babies.
not to be confused with Yinglings, the beer from... Where's that beer from, Darkett?
Pennsylvania, I think.
Pennsylvania, yeah. It's good beer.
Yeah.
Good beer in the Midwest here. But, younglings. Kills a bunch of younglings, which is fucked up in a lot of different ways.
And really funny.
And kind of funny. I mean, let's be honest. It was kind of funny.
I spend way too much time on prequel memes. It's such a big joke that Anakin killing younglings.
Yeah. I know. Even while watching it, I'm like, I could make a meme right here. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it though. I don't.
So many people do, dude. It's like that scene got made into so many memes, and it's messed up.
I mean, I put a Yingling can over the Youngling. I think that was one of my better ones. I'm sure I wasn't the first person to think of that, but.
Yep. That was your claim to meme fame.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
But yeah, Obi-Wan finds out about that, and he tells Padme. And in the meanwhile, Anakin is sent to Mustafar to clean out the Separatist leaders that have been rounded up conveniently by Palpatine in this like control room. They're all hanging out there. Newt, Green Pepperhead, aka Watt, the whole crew. They're just hanging out. God knows what, watching lava shoot up in the air. But that's where Anakin goes off to, and to extinguish them. So Padme and Obi-Wan are talking. He explains that to her, and then they get up and they fly to Mustafar. And so this is basically like the beginning of the confrontation between Obi-Wan and Anakin. So they get onto Mustafar, and Padme, they have this exchange about what she learned, basically he's turned and she doesn't know him anymore. And again, we're getting into meme territory here. Lots of memes, lots of quotes from this part of the film.
Lots of good material there.
Yep. Lots of really good quotes. Like, I love the part where, so Anakin, they start getting pretty heated and Anakin sees that Obi-Wan is on the ship. The cloaks come off. He actually chokes. He force chokes, and Padme. Anakin does, and he calls Obi-Wan a liar, and Obi-Wan tells him, "Let her go, Anakin." He says, "You turned her against me," and Obi-Wan said, "You have done that yourself." Yeah, it's such a good line, man.
It's very iconic.
Absolutely, and he puts her down, and then Anakin says, "If you're not with me, you're my enemy." And then, of course, we get another great quote. "Only a Sith deals in absolutes," by Obi-Wan. So many good quotes in this scene. Like, this is like where the movie, you're like, oh, fuck. Everything else stops around me. Like,
and it's the climax.
Yep.
It's a really, really big deal.
Culmination of everything. I mean, the 2 films of Jedi training. Well, I guess 1 film, more or less. Well, 2 to an extent.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. That's good. And then you have the old Clone Wars, obviously, but it's the culmination of all of this. So it's really like a heavyweight fight, I kind of summarized it in a stupid way, so I don't know if you guys are going to be humored by this or not. But so you've got in the blue corner Obi-Wan, a bearded Jedi Master with devilish good looks, a seasoned commander of the Clone Wars, trained by Qui-Gon Jinn, held in high esteem by the Jedi Council. In the red corner, you have arguably one of the strongest Force users of all time, at the height of their Jedi combat training, fueled by the memory of his dead mother and the looming death of his wife. So this is where it starts. Pretty crazy. Round 1. Vader comes in, blades a-whirling, and pushing Obi-Wan back. He's on the defense the whole time. There's lots of saber sparks flying as the combatants slash through the narrow hallways they're fighting through. It's like a spark factory. It's like a 1980s, metal band music video. The fight makes its way to the Separatist leader meeting room with Obi-Wan pedaling the whole way back. there's a mixture of saber fighting and melee combat, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, there's some Force stuff in there too. Like, yeah, they go all out. They don't hold
Yeah,
back.
it's not just like, trading lightsaber blow for lightsaber blow. Like Vader is just physically choking Obi-Wan and trying to like I don't know, decapitate him simultaneously. Obi-Wan breaks free. Vader gives Obi-Wan like this double, like a jumping double kick to the chest, and knocks him down. And then Obi-Wan returns like a high kick. He's just like, or I don't know what kind of kick it was. Calvin is probably more of a kick expert than I am here, given his karate training. I don't know what kind of kick it was, but it was kind of dope. I love a good kick.
It'd probably be like a really lame name. Like, okay, that was a front kick or that was a side kick.
Right. Yeah, it looked kind of high, like he just fucking kicks him, which is awesome. But the cool thing is, like, you can see the similarities in their fighting styles, and their techniques, because obviously Obi-Wan's trained Anakin, So at one point, like, each one's like whirling their lightsabers at each other, and they're not even like hitting lightsabers, so they're just like basically have their elbows just like swinging around. But like then it culminates into like a force push that like it's like they propel one another, like
they equal each other out with the Force push.
Yeah, and then they both end up like propelled back, and they both land on like the control panels of the room that they're in. So round 2, like, the combatants find themselves fighting on a series of thin metal pipelines over a lava field. The boxing ring, quote unquote, starts to fall apart around them. They continue fighting over what looks like a cell phone tower, probably 5G if I had to speculate.
For sure.
Makes sense.
And it's floating through this lava field, which ends up falling off of like a lava cliff.
There's
and
lots
then
of lava.
Lots of lava. And then they leap onto these, I don't know how to describe them other than like lava observation hovercraft platforms. I don't know.
They're like mining droids or something like that.
Yeah, they were droids.
Okay. So yeah, then they're like hovering around each other. Like, this is just a crazy fight. Like the pure ferocity, like eventually they're fighting, and Obi-Wan does like a backflip onto like semi-solid ground and proclaims another quote, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." Of course. So defying his former master's warning, the young Sith Lord launches directly above Obi-Wan, and he immediately slices him down to size.
Yep.
It's not how you start the fight, it's how you finish it. Obi-Wan wins the contest with a decisive victory via third-round leg amputation. Obi-Wan shows...
Hey, it gets his arm, too. It's nasty.
It is. Obi-Wan wins. He shows very little sportsmanship and doesn't put the legless and engulfed in flames, quote-unquote, brother out of his misery. He just leaves him there. Just leaves him
My
there.
wife thought that was pretty cruel. She was like, he just leaves him there to, like, die? I'm like, he couldn't put him out of his misery. And she's like, that sounds worse. And I'm like, just go with it.
Stop analyzing it, okay? It's the way it's supposed to be. But really, it is like, I get it, because like he can't kill his his beloved friend, brother, like he just can't bring himself to do it. But like, you can bring yourself to just let him burn to death,
slowly die,
right.
like a horrible, painful death.
Just can't do a quick little.
He didn't know Palpatine was coming. Like, that.
Like, what was he thinking as he's leaving? He's like, oh yeah, he just died slowly. It's fine. It's good.
I love how he takes the
nothing bad can come
lightsaber
out
too.
of
He's
this.
like, I'm just gonna. This is required because it appeared in another movie. So thanks.
Right. Yep. I need this. Thank you. Yoink. But like, that's not anymore. That is the opposite of humane. Like, just, I'm gonna leave him there. He yelled, "I hate you" at me, but I'm just gonna leave him there. I'm not.
He's
gonna...
even still conscious, so he's probably feeling everything.
Right. That's better than me putting him out of his misery. That's the dilemma that Kenobi finds himself in, and just a confusing end to that. I don't know. In hindsight, just like, what the fuck happened?
The real confusing end is when they play the Star Wars happy music when the film ends. Like, this was not a happy moment.
This is sad as fuck.
Like, everyone died, and Darth, literally everything that Vader did to try, or Anakin tried to save Padme, just right down the toilet.
Doesn't work.
Right. And that's I think it was fate. I think that the whole thing was predestined. Obvious. I don't know if that's obvious, but like he
Are
had
you a Calvinist, Brick?
What's that?
Are you a Calvinist?
I don't know. Like I think it was predestined because, you know, Anakin has these premonitions that Padme dies, and I think the whole time he was predestined to become a Sith, and then he was inevitably going to be the one that kills her. I think that
Okay, so
Oh,
the
yeah, go ahead.
premonitions and the dreams, that's all from Palpatine. Like he straight up puts that in Anakin's
Oh,
head to
okay.
manipulate him.
Okay.
However, this age-old prophecy of Anakin eventually killing all the Jedi and all the Sith, of him bringing balance to the Force, that could be legit. Like it might have been this way from all the time, because I mentioned earlier, the Jedi had reached a point where they were not too great. Like obviously not as bad as the Sith, but the Clone Wars explores this a little bit.
Yeah,
They
with
were-
Ahsoka's plotline, you know, like being conflicted about what they're up to, really.
They were going to kill Ahsoka purely for political reasons, to maintain the peace between the Senate and the Jedi Council. Like she was just gonna die, and even Yoda, who was supposed to be this huge peace Jedi leader, was okay with it. So they both needed to end, in the words of Luke.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I mean, I guess you can interpret a film multiple ways, like plot lines as well.
yeah.
Like maybe they're literal, maybe not. But that's a good point. I never really considered that was just an injected memory by Palpatine, but totally could have been, and totally was the reason that Anakin turned. If it wasn't for his mother dying early in his life and having that memory and being haunted by that, to then project that onto Padme and have the same scenario, like he never would turn, because that was always the thing that seemed a little out of place to me. Is like, how did Anakin become Darth Vader? How did the turn happen? And it seemed extreme to me at the time, but like watching the Clone Wars, seeing the whole context of it, seeing the subtle manipulations by Palpatine, and then the straight up overt manipulations by him, and kind of his character throughout the Clone Wars as well, very manipulative the whole time. You know, living this dual life the whole time totally
And
makes sense.
I haven't passed through this personally, but like war does stuff to you. Like you have to break, or you have to do things you would normally never do. Like this is gonna get really philosophical really fast, but like killing people changes you, regardless of whatever the reason is. And I think a lot of that was instrumental in Anakin's fall.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably fucks you up over time, killing. I mean, how many I'm sure there's a death toll of how many people Anakin's killed throughout the Clone Wars. It's probably just...
It's not as much as Chopper, but it's up there.
Oh, I don't know. Does Chopper extinguish quite a few people?
It's another joke that went across the prequel memes. Like someone decided to watch all of Rebels and counted up like all the deaths via sabotage, like that Chopper had killed, is something like 30,000 or something
Holy
like that.
shit. There are a lot of like subtle deaths in the Rebels, I've noticed. I'm only like 8 episodes in, but I'm like, Kanan just straight up killed the dude.
Like okay, if you fall from 10 stories, you don't live, you die. Like
Yeah.
the stormtrooper that just fell,
Yeah.
he didn't fall, he died.
Yeah, even like when I don't know what the name of the guy with like the long chops. There's like
Inquisitor.
not the Inquisitor, but like the he's like a
I know who you're
stormtrooper
talking
guy.
about. Yeah. Shoot.
I
should
forget
know
his
this.
name. At one point, a stormtrooper's like, "Is that the first Jedi you've ever seen?" And then he just kicks him down to his death. Like he just literally kicks the
Like,
guy
he
in the
just
face,
dies.
and he didn't come back from that. Like I'm watching that with my son. Like, yeah, he's okay. Callus, that's right. Yep, Agent Callus.
No, yeah, straight up. Like, yeah, Agent Callus. Like he's on his own team and he just kills him. Like cold-blooded murder.
Yep, he gone. But okay. So where else are we at?
I think you finished it.
Okay.
Like there's like the ending scene with the babies, but
The only thing we missed really is like the Jedi Master Yoda Sidious fight, which was pretty epic.
It's a fun fight.
It ends in a tie though, so you
Yeah.
know.
I think it was really an epic scene where they're fighting in this whatever this middle like platform thing is, and like they're fighting in the audience chamber where they have the Senate meetings. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty epic and
That
cool
was
looking.
cool.
And where they're chucking like
The Senate seats at each other.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of dope. But at the same
The
time,
worst
it's like
sound of all of Star Wars with the Yoda's nails scratching across the
right,
Ugh. Oh,
yeah. It kind of
They could have
dope.
left that part out.
I liked Sidious, like seeing just I think they nailed it. Like he's just so fucking creepy and dark. He's just always cackling and like
yeah.
he just looks gross. He just
Looks
constantly
like it's bad. You know he has bad hygiene habits.
Oh yeah. That breath,
Totally.
that mouth does not
He
smell
smells real
good.
bad.
There's dad mouth and then there's Palpatine
Definitely a
mouth.
kill.
Oof. Gross.
Definitely a kill.
But yeah, I guess that's it. There's iconic scenes. I don't know. I kind of missed it. I was working when I was watching the very very end of the film where Luke is handed off to
Emperor.
yeah. Did they set that up at all, or did Obi-Wan just like go to random sand like dwellers and he's like, hey, here's a child, peace
They
out.
probably called beforehand, like, hey, so you remember that lady that was your stepmom a while ago? How she's dead? Okay, well, we have a present for you.
It just seemed a little sudden, you know, like, and this woman's just like, oh, thank you for the child. I thought of a
We can't
meme
make
like
ends
while
meet
they're
ourselves here by
Beggars
doing
can't
what
be
we're doing.
choosers.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's true. I imagine like while they're like staring at the sun, the typical the Tatooine sun's setting, they're just looking at each other, and like, are you gonna change this little shit, or whose turn is it? What are we doing here? Like, whose turn is it? Because honestly, that's a big ask to give people, a young couple,
A baby.
a baby. You know, they weren't planning on it. They're fucking sand miners. I don't know what the fuck they do. They're just
Moisture harvesters.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They're moisture harvesters. They're not thinking about I mean, that's a rough environment. You're surrounded
It's
by
already hard
Tuscans.
living.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
bringing
you
a
don't age
child into
well.
this?
You're not going to age well at all.
No, it's a rough life. And Biscuit in chat, I'm sorry, I meant to acknowledge this earlier. He said the Jedi lost their way due to the Clone Wars.
I would argue they started losing their way even before that. They became way too political in Coruscant. Like, that's one of the... Qui-Gon Jinn was very against a lot of things they would do. He wouldn't join the council. That's ultimately why even Count Dooku left the Order way back when. But I don't know how much credit you
Ooh.
give a guy like Count Dooku.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
But the Clone Wars propelled it big time. Like, it pushed us over its limits.
And you got to think Palpatine was the Muppet Master, or the Muppet Master, the Puppet Master of
It's kind of
Of all of
funny.
this.
Because we beat Yoda, and Yoda is Kermit. So it kind of...
Right. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, he orchestrated all of this shit and preyed on the weaknesses of everybody, you know?
If you, but I don't know. For me, it's beautiful because if you go back to like the Rule of Two, like Darth Bane, not this exact plan with the clones and the Republic and everything, but this was the eventual plan. Like, we're gonna keep bringing a lineage of Sith until we get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then with one fatal swoop, we just wipe out the Jedi. And he pulled it off.
Yeah. Really, it puts into perspective, Palpatine is the motherfucker of all the motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah, he is.
no Sith had pulled off, I mean, to my knowledge, what he did. I mean, he's essentially ruler of the galaxy. And wiped out all of the Jedi.
There was one way back 3,000 years before him. There was actually, his title was the Sith Emperor, which is really awkward with the Galactic Legend version we have of him now. And he did things that were very similar, but I don't know if he ever. There were almost Jedi genocides. Anyways, if he's not the only one, he's one of the only two. Like, that's good enough.
Yeah, right. Over a 3,000-year span. Crazy. Okay. Yes, Reverse Isle, you're right. This is a long one. AKA
How bad?
Byro. No, bad. It's content. Hopefully, people enjoy it. Well, I guess that's it, boys. Did you guys have anything else? Anything you want to plug, Calvin? We have some people who listen only on the audio version.
I mean, for those of you guys who know, I'm really into Grand Arena. My Twitch is Calvin_awesome. Hit me up, join in for a time. I do every streams 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, Thursday, and Monday. So if you guys are those of you who can do daytime streams, I'm your guy.
And he not only, plays GAC. He's being humble here. He's won just about every division he's ever been in, and he came in 6th place in Division 1, his first time in Division 1. And he basically doesn't lose battles. Like, he loses battles in like months that rhyme with Rocktober. Like, he's just not really into that. So if you want to learn something,
It's not his game.
Definitely check out Calvin Awesome. He's very and I love your channel because you explain what you're doing as well, and like your knowledge of the game is unprecedented. Like that's what distinguishes you from from somebody like me. Like, I don't quite understand everything that I'm doing.
You do really well though. You make Kyber almost literally every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But like, here's another point. So sober Calvin Awesome is an echelon above Brick Hard Meat and just mental capacity and understanding of just life and probably this game. But when Calvin has a few drinks,
oh my god,
I think you're like in Brick. I think we're on the same wavelength. But now if Brick has drinks, I'm definitely a peg below.
You don't go up with drinks? I
no,
thought you would...
it goes down. It never goes up. It never goes up.
Rick with drinks is me without drinks, and then me with drinks. I don't even know what that would be.
It's a tiered system. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast, man. We always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Like I listen to you guys every go around, and when I heard you guys were doing Revenge of the Sith, I was like, hey there, old buddy, old pal.
Yeah, dude.
It was good to hear your history with the movie too.
Yeah, that was really
Appreciate
cool.
You sharing that.
That was awesome, man.
Thank you for listening. My wife needed a break.
Anytime, man. What's next? Solo, right? The solo movie's next. Chronologically.
Actually, it should be a Bad Batch, but we're not there yet.
Oh, yeah. Right. We're gonna have to come back then.
That one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cycle through, but that'll be good because they'll be coming out live, and that'll make more sense as we do our chronological viewing of all Star Wars.
I think it is Solo though, yeah, because Rogue One is definitely after. Yeah, cool. It's Solo or Rebels. I don't know which one comes first.
I think it's Solo.
We'll check.
I checked
the timeline.
I checked an infograph meme, and it appeared that Solo.
Yeah, no,
was
I'm not 100%. I would trust the info meme.
And I love Solo. I'm a big fan of Solo. So.
I really liked it too,
dude.
Not as much as the prequels, but I like Solo a lot.
Yeah, it's up there for me. All right, well that's it.
Yeah, I think Solo would be next. Yep.
Darkit, you want to send them out?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Galaxy of Beers can be found on all major podcast platforms. Obviously, subscribe to us here on Twitch. Don't drink and hyperdrive, and we will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh yeah, we got to raid somebody. Let's. I doubt anybody. We'll see. We'll see who's doing anything with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Who's raiding? Who are we gonna raid? Let's see. Okay, yeah, quite a few people. Nice. We got Fort Mort. We got the Gambit. Yeah, we gotta do the Gambit, right? Come on.
We said Zero's name, I think, like 4 times. I think we ended up summoning him.
We gotta do it. And you're in the Gambit Alliance of Creators. Let's do this. Let's raid your boys. Everybody aboard the train. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. I guess it's more of a, not really a train. It's more of like a spaceship, a shuttle of sorts. We appreciate you, Byro. All right. Take care, everybody. We're going to raid the Gambit. Peace out. All right. Stream.